Nigma the only team that you ban out the IO against?
I think so, yeah.
No,
Crazy.
and it's
is.
it's such a respect ban.
Yeah.
Like such a respect ban to GEH. You just don't want to play versus their IO. Meanwhile, this is something that I've seen from Team Liquid in all of their games. They tend to pick up this TA very early on. They don't care about all these counters. They actually, versus Beast Coast, they lost once to a straight counter of Venomancer in the lane. Then they won versus the Venomancer in the lane as well. And there were a couple of players saying that TA will be the hero of the meta, and it's definitely shaping that way. And when you open up the pro tracker, when you look at the games that are being played right now in pubs, these pro players, they practice the heroes they're going to play in pubs, and you can see TA really played a lot.
Yeah, I am a little worried because it kind of makes me feel like Team Liquid with that opening did not really adjust that much. But maybe, I mean, obviously that's just my feel, and it's the opening that has worked for them for the one game, right?
Yeah. They have gone for the TA a lot of the times, but they're not the Snapfire and the TA.
True.
This has actually been taken away from them because they were so impressive. I think anyone who watched TPC
one game that they won was
WePlay.
TA and Snap right here. One game that they did win with.
Yeah, so I think this is their super comfortable strategy. Very good at securing Roche, very good early aggression too, and you kind of cover quite a bit of boxes there. You have a lot of magical damage, you have super high physical, you're going to be able to take objectives early. Nigma's response, they kind of maybe a little bit of a steal pick, but something that some teams do really still like is this Enchantress and their DK. I'm really liking this pick because it's this flex pick where now we saw my control play it, and it dictates pace of the game. And that's been Nigma's bread and butter at this tournament so far, is first 10 to 15 minutes, they just accrue such an advantage.
And then when you build on top of that, you have Enchantress together with that DK. It's just so much pressure early on. What does this TA do? Nothing. First 15 minutes, this hero is AFK. It's hitting the creeps in the triangle. Enchantress and Dragonite will take not only the tier 1 on the enemy safe lane, but also rotate towards the mid lane and take that one down too, which enables you to go into the triangle a little bit earlier than from different angles at least, a little bit earlier than usual. But I just love Snap and TA. Roche, 17 minutes in, you don't need an Ursa. You don't need any hero like that. These two are perfectly capable of taking it down.
Seems like Team Nigma is...
nice bans.
Yeah, is going for Koikfa a little bit there with the Slardar and the Brood removed. Do you feel like Team Liquid is still in that place where maybe sometimes you do want to ban out the Lone Druid just in case?
I personally don't like the hero so much right now. I know there's literally only 2 teams that are playing it in the world.
Yes.
Secret and Liquid. So that, of course, it means it's specialists on the hero too, but it definitely looked weak. There's a lot of counters to it. You know, this Razor, Death Prophet, which China really likes, versus it is really strong. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they're gonna really target it. It's not a good combo either.
With TA, it's too greedy as well, right?
And the Snapfire lane, I like when you can play some type of aggressive hero, like the Broodmother, like the Slardar, to just crush a lane. So those bans make sense.
Nigma just banning out heroes. We've talked about the Slardar. It's something that they usually banned out versus Liquid in the league. Like it was one of the first two bans,
it was one of Koikfa's heroes that he spammed when he was moved to the off lane to make space for Samil mid. Slardar was the hero. He spammed in his pubs to prepare for his off lane role.
It's very interesting because Boxy used to be such a Slardar spammer as well.
Best Slardar.
Best Slardar, definitely. How many games he played on mid and just owned?
Yeah.
So that is a Mirana, and we've talked about Snapfire being one of the stronger heroes for Taiga as position 4. But this would move Insania to Snapfire and have Taiga be the Mirana, right? Because you don't want to core Mirana, right?
Yeah. It's still strong though, right? Because Mirana is... In SCA, here is a wild take. In SCA, Mirana has been even played on offlane. I don't think we're going to see that here, but... Mirana is mostly picked up in this scenario to prevent these early pushes, killing off the Kartis with Yarrow. And also, it's considered a counter to Enchantress because you can just block one creep camp and then arrow the other. And speaking of another hero that has 100% win rate on Nigma. At the moment.
The Miracle Invoker. I think a lot of people are going to be very happy to see him in action on that. And it has worked. So why not, right? they already know what they are going to go up against, or Miracle knows what he's going to go up against anyway.
Yeah,
Can be a tough lane. Like, TA was a literal counter pick for a very long time versus Invoker. There's ways to play around it, sure, because you have this great sustain, and you're going to be very active around the map for first 10 to 15 minutes. So it fits exactly what Nigma's playstyle has been. I like the Wyvern pick versus the super high physical damage. We're seeing a lot more versus like TA's Voids. The save is super clutch.
I love the cojones as well on Nigma to pick up the Invoker versus TA. Historically, it hasn't been the easiest pickup, right? Like, this won't be a Quaswex, right? You
don't think it will be?
Do you think it will be?
I think it will be just because he wants to be super active with his team, right? Because that's how they've been playing. So I think like rotating around for the first 10, 15 minutes with DK.
No, I completely can see that happen.
Yeah.
My worry is only, I guess TA is going to dominate the lane no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's usually the case.
Your Quaswex or not, doesn't matter.
Can you offset that with some rotations? Or do Winter Wyvern Enchantress not really rotate that much?
I mean, you can rotate with Enchantress, obviously. It's not, we've seen that happen.
You can collapse, because that's been the Nigma specialty. It's like this 8-minute collapse or something on the mid tower to just go for it, just take the tower. So Enchantress can definitely do that.
I like the Sand King.
I like the Sand King too. I like the Invoker with the Wyvern combo when you're Quaswex too, because you don't do damage, but you drop an EMP on top of it. And that's still extremely effective inside the curse.
In hindsight, now looking at the drafts, when you look at Wyvern and Invoker, versus Invoker, I would love to see a Void, right? Faceless Void would be really great, but you can't versus the Wyvern. It's kind of... We've seen that matchup, and it's historically been a hard counter to Void. You just Cold Embrace, and you can't kill anyone in the Chrono. But maybe there's an option to pick it for Nigma? Is there? What do you think? When it comes to counters to Sand King, you're thinking about AniMajor, obviously, first, and the easiest lane to play against him, but maybe not overall the best hero for them.
I don't like it with TA, because I think your pacing is playing... You're playing way too...
I was thinking for Nigma.
Oh, for Nigma.
Against them, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because of Sand King, right? You crush him in the lane.
Yep.
And we got quite a few cores at least removed with the Wraith King, the Luna, and the Spectre as well.
Yep.
Team Nigma thinking about their last ban.
Actually, Liquid banned out Viper, Razor, and Terrorblade. In my opinion, the best heroes versus TA later on too.
Agreed.
Is there anything else? Do you think PL is an option? Probably not, right? Versus Sand King, a lot of damage.
Doesn't look great. I like the either anti-mage. I was thinking Morphling, but it's usually not that much of an ILTW thing.
It is a Team Liquid thing, however.
It is.
Right?
Considering it is Team Liquid, Leshrac is one of the few games that Leshrac is not banned. Is it still an option, or would you rather not see it and then for going for a more traditional carry for Mickey?
I do like when Liquid plays those more active heroes on the one for Mickey. I actually do like that strategy, especially when they have the TI. I think that could be a possibility, because it will be able to kill DK. It's great versus the Wyvern Cold Embrace and stuff, forces towers. Could be a cool one.
They go with, they did this before, actually. They did the carry Bristol. All right. They get a stable core that actually doesn't need a lot, and it's Nigma actually that goes with the Void plus Chronosphere. Void plus Invoker, Chronosphere plus Invoker, which is pretty much always good.
They've got good early pressure, right, with the Wyvern, the DK, the Invoker, and then they have late game security with the Cataclysm, Chronosphere that we've seen so many times. I think this has to be a good game for Liquid to set the pace themselves back in order to have a good chance, because I feel like if it starts getting to later stages, you just lose versus this Void and Invoker.
We've had Team Nigma play a lot of games so far already. This will be the first Faceless Void game that they'll have. So even though that's one of the more picked cores at the moment, right? So quite interesting. But do we have then a clear favorite? Lizard, do you have a clear favorite going into this game one?
It's just much easier to go for Nigma, because when you look at their draft, you have this Cataclysm plus Chronosphere, easy execution. One thing that I don't like from Liquid is no save. Usually when they have this Bristle, they have some Oracle or something similar to follow that up. Obviously Nigma banned it out, but they do have enough damage, and if they can snowball out of the lanes, like some early Blink Dagger on Koikwa, I can see them having a good game. I'm still going for Nigma a little bit, though.
Ooh. I think I like Liquids.
You like it?
I don't know. Just because how fast they can set the pace, and I think if this Bristle can get such a big advantage, but they do have double Ancient Farmers as well.
And eventually this Void becomes a problem. The time dilation versus Bristle too, and
yeah, you're right. The time dilation is a pretty big factor. So I'm a bit torn. I think later stages
50-50?
Nigma will win, but
Okay.
I think Liquid does have chances to set tempo.
And that would be mostly, again, in the hands of Taiga then with his Mirana.
Yes, he has to play really active. Arrow every catapult. I want to see lots of TPs for those catapults.
Lots of TPs for the catapults. All right. Oh, looking forward to seeing how this game is going to play itself out. My panel's a little bit split. And I'm curious what our commentary team thinks about how this game is going to play itself out. We're heading over to Cap and Kyle.
That's right. Thank you, Shiver. We, our casters, are not split at all. We are of the same mind. And to put it to the test, I'm going to go ahead on 3. Say which team you think is going to win this series. All right? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nigma.
Wow, that was
Didn't even hurt.
shit. I thought we were actually going to be different, but we said the same team.
Yes.
Why?
I just think they're on fire.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I'm pretty sure Blitz will be listening to us now.
Uh-oh.
And he might actually be celebrating because typically when we predict a team to win, they're much more likely to lose. So in a way,
Yeah,
I guess you're
yeah.
doing your bro a solid.
Yeah, true. To Liquid's credit, Nigma may be looking very good, and Liquid starting off the group stage not so hot. Maybe starting off this game not so hot. The arrow's going to come through, but Mickey's in serious trouble. The cookie is going to be able to maybe buy him a little bit of time. ILTW time walking in, but realizes that Mickey is a little bit too tanky to just one-hit him, and ILTW may end up dying for that mistake as Quill starts stacking up, but the Dragon Tail coming out on Insania. Who's going to be the first blood here? It's all in onto the Cookie Mama, and she dies first. GH is going to be up next. He falls, yes. Do they get any extra kills here onto Liquid? It looks like
hell?
maybe Mind Control. Another round of Quills, but the Fairy Fire spares him. Ultimately, it's a 1-for-1 trade to the favor of Nigma.
However, they do have to heal on 3 heroes. What in the hell was that? We didn't see that in 12 weeks over the DPC League. The Major
Nope.
brings out different stuff. A 5-man rune fight. I like the decision. Mickey just feeds. That's the right play. He was much too far away from base. He had no regen. Just
Yeah.
feed.
And he will be there in time for the first creep, it looks like. So I was saying, to Liquid's credit,
Yes.
when they matched up against Nigma at the Major, well, maybe that's unfair because they had a stand-in, but in Wildcard, they did beat Nigma. But they also, in this last DPC, also beat Nigma. So at least the recent history is going the way of Liquid.
Yeah, and they're going to get the ward exchange too. Placed just a little too late by GH up top. I will say I like how both teams just kind of stick to what's been working for them, the fundamentals. Liquid have had a heavy focus on TA. Both games against Beast Coast, they drew those. They lost to it yesterday as well. And the Bristleback was responsible, in my view, for their only win so far in this tournament. And then, of course, on the other side, Nigma, they've been keeping mind control on the playmaking off lanes. DK, Mars have stuns. It's been very effective for them so far.
Yep.
Miracle on Invoker Puck. Those spell casting, just best utilized, I think, maybe by Miracle.
Koifa's
Well-
dead here. Okay, the arrow sneaks on through, but the time walk in, Koifa did manage to get off a bit of healing sound, so looks like he may survive. Bro strikes back up. They're going to go for the kill on ILTW. He's going to die first, though. Koifa falls, then ILTW. Taiga doesn't actually have any regen here, but he does have leaps, so all he's got to look out for is an impetus shot. He goes ahead and leaps away in between shots from Kuro, so make it the best of that situation.
You can also see this has been sort of par for the course in Western Europe. We've already equaled the amount of kills that it took 12 minutes for Vici Spirit to obtain in the previous series. A lot of
Yeah.
aggression from this region.
And that was the problem with Europe, Western Europe specifically, last Major, right? Is that their speed and aggression was actually wrong. They actually had the wrong read on the meta. Other regions ended up doing much better as a result, most notably China.
Yep. I'd love to, I mean, there hasn't been kills there, but the mid matchup's very exciting to me. Like, it's just something we really just don't get to see enough anymore. Top lane, just kidding, we're gonna watch in. This is the replay of Mind Control dying. Mickey, level 2, skills up goo. It's just too cheap. I think especially in side lanes, you gotta pick up an early point in it, but yeah. Sumail, glorious hair, by the way. Miracle, pretty glorious place.
Is that all?
Oh, he's okay.
Sumail, I thought, glorious hair, but also something,
No.
no, just Sumail, glorious
so far,
hair.
no.
Good work.
Every time Liquid win a series, I make sure to text Sumail that I'm not impressed.
Okay. Got to keep him humble.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, people have been
Fair.
trying. He's actually, I think, mellowed out a lot. People forget he won TI when he was like 16.
Yeah. If for those of you guys watching who are 16, if you don't know, when you're 16, you're a shithead. So
Hey, he wasn't,
don't
he
think
wasn't
you're
even that bad.
Don't
He was a
think
nice
you're
kid.
different. Don't think you're different. Just because you're sitting there, I'm 16. I'm not a. No, you are. You just don't know it yet.
He's in some serious trouble. He has the early stick. Thank God he skilled stun, otherwise he'd almost certainly be dead. Mickey applying a lot of pressure. And you can see 12 mana, level 1 Q. It's just way too strong.
Yeah.
And later on, when you hit 6, it gives you the Warpath stack.
Go ahead. If you're on a computer right now, go to
he's
Mickey. You do
Stun.
have a Dragon Tail stun. The cookie is going to be able to get him a little bit closer to the tower, and the last hit is not going to be enough. Ooh, close call. But he only has Tangos to be able to heal up. No healing salve. Arrow nails him. Burrow Strike Arrow combo onto Kuro. He blows up with the Caustic Finale on him.
a little bit of missed micro there. If he'd pulled the creep away and blocked arrow with it, maybe he survives, but I think he was harassing the Marana on the side. Nice little reposition from Taiga.
He got greedy here. He really wanted to be able to pick up his ring of health, and he did, but it's going to cost him a decent amount of HP, some time out of the laning phase. The creep wave's pushed in.
Check out this mid matchup, though.
Oh, yeah. Miracle's not having a fun time. EMP, the damage is going to be blocked by the refraction. Smail just ignoring Miracle and focusing on the CS war, which he is heavily winning. 31-9 compared to 16-6 for Miracle.
A somewhat skill-based matchup, but definitely TA favored.
Yep.
You, in theory, want to kill. Oh, man, this is another kill, isn't it? Wow.
Ooh.
Stun arrow combination. These guys have been pulling those off since the previous video game they were professionals in. And yeah, final point. The TA Invoker, a great TA. Consider Liquid thinks Sumail's so good at the hero, they keep first twoing it. This is how you beat it. You got to kill it.
Yep, they got to go for him now. Damage over time. Sumail fighting back the tornado to finish him. Isn't quite enough, though.
Koifa?
I wonder if they maybe misread the damage there. Koifa is going to be able to connect with a Burrow Strike, and he actually kills Miracle. He saves, in part, the mid laner who has replaced him in that role, bails him out with a nice TP. I was figuring how to structure that. Not former mid laner.
The role he was meant
Replaced
to
in
be.
a way, but, you know. Shout out to Koifa. I think there has been a little bit of a period of time where it didn't all fit together for Liquid, but I think he's transitioned to the offlane pretty nicely.
Yeah, they found a home for him. He's just pretty much playing, you know, Magnus, a little bit of Mars, the Sand King, stun combinations. Let Mickey and Sumail be the guys that win the game. And right now, Sumail has doubled up Miracle in CS, and he's already moved on to the jungle. He is very ahead of the game at the moment. No Ancient stacks just yet, but I'm sure Taiga will get those going sooner rather than later. And you can see, to beat a TA mid, look at Invoker's damage. You just simply can't threaten a hero that has so much added on when Refraction's utilized. You have to rotate and get kills. This is how we've actually seen Nigma already successfully beat TA throughout the wild card. They brought multiple supports and collapsed onto the TA. They might look to do that here. Both are in the area.
Yeah, ILTW has been left alone. The support is entirely roaming onto the mid lane. They're going to go for Sumail now, leading off with the Tornado. Now, Insania is there to be able to give him a cookie, a helping hand to be able to get out of range of the CMP, but no, he's still in range, and he will die as a result. It costs them a lot, though. ILTW, who have been stuck at this bottom lane by himself, does get hunted down, and I believe they kept the Siege Wagon alive on top of that. So they're going to lose that bottom tower nice and early.
Yeah, Koifa, early point in the Caustic Finale, first item Vanguard. This is the way I love to see Sand King played, because you actually have that survivability. You're not just a stun into potentially being susceptible to being turned around on. Instead, you just sit in the lane. You hit the Void in the face, you push, and if he gets up too close and personal, you stun into arrow. And they've done that now successfully quite a few times. Good arrow. Stop the mid push.
Watch out, ILTW die again. He had already time walked after a combo there, so they kind of knew he was stuck a little bit, especially since it's only level 2 time walk, so.
And they're in a little bit of trouble here on Team Nigma because they don't have any method of actually farming efficiently. Consider both Bristle and TA excellent at farming everything. Ancient camps, jungle stacks, creep waves. Nigma, you don't have any lane shove whatsoever. It's GH on the Wyvern, that's actually your best wave.
They're going to go for mind control with the cookie. That is a great helping hand for Bristleback. Closes the gap a little bit, gets a stun, but he does take a lot of damage in return now that GH is here. They're still going to go for him. Arrow's going to land, but Cold Embrace is going to be able to keep him alive. And now Miracle with the rotation. Tornado EMP. Mickey all in to get more damage out onto the Dragonite, but it's not enough to get the kill. Fortunately, Insania was able to complete his TP. He's going to join the rest of his team mid, but mass rotations now from Nigma.
And Void has level 6, but the trouble is they really don't have much damage in the Chronosphere. We saw them utilize this combination also in the wild card, so the Kuro, when he finds something he likes, they tend to keep picking it, but it's all about the timing. Chronosphere plus Cataclysm. That is the game winner. That is what Nigma is going to be playing for. They're just trying to stall out till that point. TA, I think, favored in a matchup against Void, but there's really nothing you can do if you get chronoed and then bombs dropped on you.
Xania. Moonlight Shadow, but there's a sentry drop by GH to ensure the kill. Now Sumail is going to try and challenge this Dragonite. He's very tanky. Koipa, instead, with this Invis, is going to go for the Invoker. They've got the Epicenter combination, but the Cold Embrace is going to be able to heal him up a little bit more.
Wow.
And this beautiful Chrono coming out from ILTW ensures at least the kill on a Sumail, but very likely Koipa's going to be dying here. He has no way out, and Nigma take control of the mid lane now, hitting the mid tower. In tips all around.
LTW, he can't tip himself, so he'll let his team do that as he actually, thanks to Mel, I believe, walked into the Chronosphere, or maybe just kind of sidestepped. Beautiful placement. 3 enemies. Sure, he found Miracle, but Miracle was tanking an Epicenter no matter what he did. That secures the mid tower, and this is really what propelled this Nigma lineup into the group stage. Their team fighting has been insane. Go back to that tiebreaker against IG. They did it all in one fight. It's been this aggression. They've been very good about collapsing onto mid, and this is sort of the way you have to play to beat TA. They've now warded the area, and they're likely going to now find themselves trying to stop him. Ooh.
Okay, long-range arrow, but the rest of Nigma is nearby, so Kuro's going to be fine.
Miracle's only level 7, though. That is not ideal on an Invoker.
Well, maybe if they find another kill here in the triangle, which is very likely where they're going to be playing here, as the Ancient stacks are still a concern.
Kuro already focusing on the true aspect of the meta, armor. Grabbing the medallion, that'll help them if they want to do an early Roche, but more likely a defensive tool to try and keep either his Invoker or his Void alive.
Can you explain this this concept that you're going for right now? Control the armor, control the game? Flesh it out for me.
Just the way that armor works is that you have a relationship where every positive point of armor represents 5% increase in your effective HP against physical damage. So you need to have more than 0. As soon as you start getting into negatives, you're taking pure plus damage, and it just, you start getting 3-shot. If you have 5+, you feel really good, and TA's damage output is very burst heavy. So if you don't get threatened by a meld into 2 more hits, it's a lot easier to play fights, especially you look at Nigma, they have a lot of high sustain, they've got a lot of counter initiation. It's all about keeping whoever gets jumped alive for those 2 to 3 critical seconds. Expect, at a point, both supports to pick up an Eon Disc for that exact reason.
So is this because, I mean, you mentioned Templar Assassin, but not every game is going to have a TA. Do you feel like just many of the heroes popular right now are predicated on physical damage primarily?
I would say so. I think it's also just a method of killing Roche. It's never been more important to take down the big boy in the pit just because you get so much from him.
Sure.
Second Roche shard and cheese, third Ags refresher. It's just too much.
Okay. Oh, I could buy that. Trying to complete a hood after his Vanguard has been trying to make sure his safe lane tower does not die. They already gave up 1 tier 1 that I don't think they really wanted to.
Yeah, but Liquid, they're all right. They want to try and avoid a big team.
So that would be a good pickup here. And they certainly have him, I think. The Moonlight Shadow's going to go down, but they do have the Sentry already in place. And yeah, as the Chronosphere fades, they had more than enough detection with 3 sentries in one area.
They certainly got him, but that's really the only play Nigma can make. Chrono up, find a kill, okay, back off. They got the key target, but if you watch, Liquid's net worth increasing a lot faster because all 3 of Liquid's cores can shove lanes fast. Nobody on Nigma can do that.
Yeah.
This is very much a Blitz principle about the importance of wave clear and lane shove. Anybody who listens to the 2 of you cast together would know that by now. And in this case, they're abusing that fact by consistently out-CSing Nigma as the minutes tick by. So it's going to be very important for Nigma to kind of do their best Vici impersonation, slow the game down.
Okay.
Keep their objectives alive.
And occasionally hunt for, like, pickoffs.
Yep.
Like they did. They can kill one of those cores, then some of that lane shove does go away.
With items as well, they start to equalize a bit. Void with Maelstrom, a lot more effective hitting creep waves than he is just counting on bashes.
Sure, sure.
Deso soon to be completed by Sumail. They also have the additional minus armor, keep in mind, from the Bristleback Q from the Snapfire little shredder. I don't see a medallion just yet, but I assume that'll be picked up by Insania at a point. Perhaps even Koifa going for a Solar Crest. We'll see, but I think he needs a blink first, and he's recognized that, because right now, Liquid just can't actually expand upon their lead because they can't find kills. They have no actual initiation till the blink's picked up.
You're able to force Nigma to be a part on the map because of all this lane shove, but you're not actually able to capitalize on that with pickoffs. So once the Blink Dagger is in hand, then Liquid can be a little bit more free at pulling that off. It looks like, are they setting up for some sort of smoke? If they do, it's underneath the vision of Nigma.
That's why, though. That creep wave, that's enough gold for the blink. You see them ping it on the courier. There's the Deso. Definition of a power spike. Best thing to do, take some wards, take your teammates, and go on a little adventure into the enemy forest.
They definitely know. Miracle was setting up not only to try and maybe break the smoke, but also should have spotted.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're going to watch what Nigma does in response. Not playing in their triangle just yet. Miracle's going to cut over, break the smoke, throw out a tornado, actually catches the two of them. The EMP is out. Koifa's going to go ahead, burrow strike real quick. Arrow's going to come in. It's blocked, though. Mind Control tanks it up for him, but the Mortimer's Kiss is doing a good amount of damage. Winner's Curse, though, interception. Sumail's going to kill his own ally. Taiga ends up falling. He used the Melt Strike on ILTW, but Mickey is sticking onto Mind Control. This tanky offlaner has been able to absorb so much abuse. He may finally fall soon, but maybe not. They actually managed to reset there, and Liquid lose two. Many of the heroes on Nigma get low, but they can't actually finish anybody off. And now Mind Control healing up. TP's up to the tier 1 tower. They Chronosphere to be able to make sure not only Sumail's going to die, but now they've caught +1. Insania, who's coming in for a cookie, is going to be denied that fact. He won't be able to get into the pit. Mickey is going to be caught out. Moonlight Shadow going down, but they certainly have the vision for him. They spot him out. Tornado slowing him down. Eventually, he should fall. Oh, Koifa, Arrow. Okay, they're still trying for this Dragon Knight, and Nigma's like, yeah, go for it. You've done that before, and it didn't work. Mind Control keeps on pushing forward, blinking up, catching Koifa. That's going to be 2 deaths for him in one team fight.
That is unbelievable. I don't know what it is with this team, but it's like the closer they get to TI, they draw power from the prize pool like Thor would Asgard, because somehow they win this fight. They didn't have a single casualty. They just straight up outplayed. They somehow keep, you see, when the Snapfire ultimate's down, there's no more magical damage. So you see a Cold Embrace with TA and Bristleback in melee range of Mind Control. He's regenning like crazy because of the maxed out Dragon Blood as well. He doesn't die. Then he stuns. It's crazy.
Ooh, never mind.
That was, what, 7 kills they got?
Yeah, that was a big number, and it means the network just shoots right up to the favor of Nigma. And honestly, shout out to Mind Control for that one, who's now going to find initiation. Immediately arrowed. ILTW goes ahead and gets the time dilation off, but Sumail is stuck right now. They don't have a cookie to get him out of here. And the Sunstrike, well, blocked by the refraction, but it doesn't matter. He's still dead. Mickey is the person they're going to want to kite as much as possible. And fortunately, Quaswex Invoker is great at being able to do that.
They are playing so well, Cap. Like, nothing against Liquid. They're not doing anything wrong, but Nigma are just perfectly synergizing their spells.
Setting up, the arrow blocked by the creep, though, and the Winter's Curse to intercept. That's left with just the Mortimer Kisses damage. ILTW time dilates them before jumping away. Mind Control is going in, as he's done time and time again. He wants to be the center of a focus for Liquid. Liquid on the retreat here. They're going to try and get Mickey out. Insania waiting for the next round of cookies. Taiga throwing out arrows, trying to block as much as possible, but Mickey is receiving no help. Miracle actually does fall. He gets a little bit too far forward there, and Taiga snatches that kill up nice and quick. They know now that the ward is on the high ground. They're going to be able to get an extra kill here as Insania is jumped on by Mind Control. I want to highlight this offlaner, man.
Seriously.
Mind Control killed it on the Mars games when it came to Wild Card. I think he's playing this Dragon Knight game beautifully.
Perfect. He's tanked both stun arrow combinations in the onset of engagements. He makes himself the target. Look, he even maxed out stun. He gets the point in Q just for the damage reduction, but he's just blink stunning people and they're dying. The early Vessel as well on Miracle is really effective at both burning through the refraction of TA and preventing Bristleback's survivability from really having full effect, and you don't have one on Liquid just yet. Miracle, like that venture a little too far to the right was the first mistake this team made for like the past 7 minutes. They're playing flawlessly.
It's just not fair.
Nice aggressive vision. Spots Sumail and where he was farming, and ILTW really wants to kill him again. That is the primary carry of Team Liquid. Sumail is invisible, though, with the Moonlight Shadow. They spot Mind Control. Mickey's going to pop out, start poking at the Dragonite, but they don't know that Miracle is here. Now they know. The Ghost Walk spots him. They got the dust on him, and they manage to get the Burrow Strike. There's nobody around to help Miracle. A good catch for Liquid.
Yeah, they needed another one of those.
Can they do Roshan?
They're going to think about it. I think you can, but you got to be cautious. Miracle might have buyback. You can't be certain. So they're going to be a little spooked. They are also playing into the Chrono.
I was incorrect. That was a Solar Crest picked up by Kuro, I believe. On
wow, that's early.
So, yeah, he's got a lot of farm. MC is going to jump in. He managed to find Mickey. Oh, and he's pointed the wrong direction, too. But Koifa with the interception. A two-man Burrow Strike into ILTW. He's going to get blown up like that, and the magic damage raining down on the Dragonite. He's going to fall as well. Kuro almost getting bursted by Taiga. Keeping up with him, but I'm not sure if Liquid really want to go for this. They could just finish off the Roshan instead.
Yeah, LTW unfortunately blinked right into the stun arrow, so he got picked off immediately.
Tornado slowing things down. Koifa jumping in.
The arrow.
Found Miracle.
Oh,
he managed to block him with the creep. Miracle is actually good. He's going to be able to walk away here. They do manage to finish up Roshan and collect that Aegis, but at least they don't lose their mid laner.
That vessel pickup was really important for Taiga. That makes it much easier to kill off the DK.
Yeah.
And
certainly.
Well done in general. They get it took a little longer than they would want, though. That's the trouble. Liquid, they're the team that needs the Rosh. They want the second Rosh as fast as possible so they can look at sweeping out tier 2s, maybe even looking to press high ground. But this will be key. Mid tower must fall. This got to be their next objective. But as you can see, Nigma, when they have vision, when they have a team fight in an open space, it's really easy for them to outplay because so many different methods of counter initiation are available to them. If you find Miracle, Winner's Curse. If you find Mind Control, Cold Embrace, Winner's Curse, Tornado, EMP. And it's this, threatening the Chronosphere, Kuro with the heals, the defensive Solar Crest. It's really tough for Liquid to execute fights the way that they want to. A stun into an arrow, get first target, keep chasing for the second. They want long, chaotic engagements. Nigma, they want proper spell casting, 5 to 10 second windows where they get 2 kills and they get to chase for more with the DK stun coming off cooldown.
Yeah, Liquid's a very much in and out playstyle, right? Mirana, Sand King, Templar Assassin, and then just the one person who's constantly going to be in front. The in many ways, the true constant, whether he's always in front or he's always providing damage, is this Bristleback.
Yep.
Trying to tank everything up with a Hood, a Vanguard. Working on, was that going to be Sanj or BKB? I saw an Ogre Club there on our Bristleback.
Oh, that's an Axe. That's what makes this hero so strong.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's the timing where, especially against heroes like Ench and Wyvern, the game gets unplayable. The move slow almost always seems to hit you, and suddenly you don't have that freedom of movement that they've been abusing in these fights around their top triangle.
Are you afraid at all, though, because it's a Quas-2X Invoker, that he's going to be mana-starved in these team fights if he does go without a BKB?
It's possible. I'm surprised that ILTW didn't go for the Diffusal build for that reason. It's a pretty nice Manta game as well. Always, okay. No, he won't go Manta. He's going to go for the S&Y. Manta against TA is always really nice because you're going to burn Refraction even through the BKB.
Yeah.
There's the Midas picked up by Miracle. A little late, but I wouldn't blame him for that. The Spirit Vessel was necessary. It's what pretty much got them the last 10 kills. And that window where they had it, and Liquid didn't. Oh, no.
GH actually does get hit by that. Nobody of Liquid is willing to dive that deep.
The Chrono threat.
They're hitting this tier 2 right now. I almost wonder in some ways if they're trying to force a glyph and then run to mid and hit that tower. Because you said that was the more important one, right?
Yeah, that would be the ideal. I mean, tier 2 bottom is equally important because you get the outpost control.
Okay.
But typically, you see this kind of maneuver. You want to get control, get the enemy team where you want them to be, and then you can think about going elsewhere. They've got really good vision place to play around now for Team Liquid.
And Nigma, I think they may have just smoked up. Yep, they smoked up underneath a...
They saw it.
Okay, there it goes.
They're going to position on the high ground.
Liquid, Koifa, pumping that epicenter, ready to go if Nigma does finally show themselves.
You can see both carries just kind of daring each other to initiate.
Yeah.
They know their teams are behind them.
Tornado's going to miss. Maybe he was hoping to try and hit some of the backline heroes. Koifa actually pulled the trigger on that epicenter, but didn't get the blink opportunity to catch anybody. Now ILTW is going to jump forward, feeling confident. looking for that Chronosphere. Sumail's going to be target. Moonlight Shadow not going to be able to dodge that. They immediately dust him up. ILTW looking for the backline. Wants to be able to get the Chronosphere. While Sumail, they're not going to focus on him just yet. The arrow's going to come out once again, trying to go for this Dragonite. The second life of Sumail is going to come into play, though. Meanwhile, Mickey, Winner's Curse to try and get Miracle away from this hero, but they go for the Chronosphere now. They send him back. They have the Meteor. They're going to try and blow up the Templar Assassin. They've got him. Mickey, back on the prowl, though, is looking for these kills while Mind Control continues to hunt and harass the backline heroes, the Sand King, the Mirana, the Taiga, still looking for the kill onto Kuro. Isn't quite getting it. Back over to Mickey, who is the only survivor of this team fight, perhaps, is yes, there goes Taiga. Mickey limping back to the tier 2, but he's not going to make it. Tornado EMP'd, ILTW in front of him. Now behind him, trying to issue some bashes, but like ultimately, he's building up quills, but that's about it. Miracle should be able to keep him in place long enough. Eventually, Mind Control's there, and they get him. A team wipe. They lost nobody. No. They lost Mind Control with a buyback. That's what it was.
I got it. Man, I don't care how well they do for the rest of this tournament. If you're in the Nigma fan base, you got to make sure to put some respect on Mind Control's name from now until forever. Did you see he initiated and then put himself as positioned forward as possible, dies, doesn't care, he immediately has the buyback and is integral in then finding the 3 exit kills that Nigma collect. They team wipe the enemy squad, and it's all because like 4-3 and 14, he's just been everywhere so far. ILTW and Miracle, they're playing great, don't get me wrong. The whole squad is on point, but man, you can see the issues with the TA if you're able to be targeted. Mickey was just ignored. This item build makes him durable, but he has no damage. He's a Hood and a Vanguard. He's just smacking Miracle in the face, but he's getting CC'd. They have enough time to just kind of camp, kill Sumail once, drop Chrono in all spells, and Mickey's just powerless to help his team.
Yep. Now, that may change a little bit once he completes the Aghanim Scepter. He'll certainly be more of a threat, but yeah, it is currently a big problem that right now, it feels like Nigma, their game plan is twofold.
Yep.
Mind Control go in and just tank as many spells as possible, and then in turn, just focus down Sumail.
Yeah, LTW going for the Halberd as well. Just further damage mitigation. The disarm active on the TA, very effective. Full 5 seconds. And of course, the evasion.
So we went SNY, then broke it apart to be able to build a Halberd. Is he going to turn that Yasha into something else?
Oh, it'll be a Manta. It's a super good Manta game.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can see that.
Might Scotty first, that's what he's got queued up, and also the Nether Shawl. I see so many carries pick this up just for the magic reduction. You have so much armor already, just as an agi carry.
Yep.
The bonus 25% magic resist is crazy. That's more than a Hood would give you. It represents, what, 2,000 plus gold?
His biggest threat of dying is a Burrow Strike Arrow combination, right? And then just a bunch of magic damage, and so...
That is, look at that, maxed out Exort. Aghanim's on the way.
Yep, it's coming.
It will be online. They're not even going to wait.
Mickey immediately popped the Moonlight Shadow. Mickey does, in a way, want to be the target as long as his team behind him, and he's there. They do have the Aghanim Scepter. Someone in, Burrow Strike on in, Mind Control once again trying to make himself the target. The Chain Stun is out. ILTW gets hit by the arrow as well, but he's healing so much. They're going for it with the double damage, but he managed to time walking out into the Chronosphere. The rest of Nigma is slow to be able to get there, though. The Chronosphere is going to wear out, and Sumail is still going to be decently healthy. Throws a couple of shots at ILTW, who wants to be able to time walk away. Insania's going to be the first to fall in this fight, but a Burrow Strike onto 2 may turn things around. Another arrow onto ILTW, but they cannot stop this time walking away. But Mickey's now here trying to slow him down. Mind Control gets the stun onto him. Kuro forces back Taiga. They're splitting apart a little bit, and they may just have to leave their captain, but a missed Meld Strike, and now Sumail is committed. He's disarmed. He's Sunstrike coming in, does a huge amount of damage, turns around, fractional sliver of HP, burns through it though, and Kuro, of all heroes, with a godlike spree for Nigma as they continue the march forward. Liquid slowed down to a crawl as now all the disables coming from Miracle, from Mind Control, are going to pick them apart. Fortunately, Mickey managed to TP away, but what a great fight for Nigma.
I was going to say, they can't ignore the Bristle for this fight. He's got Ags, but they still did. They're tanking 5-man goo and spines. It's just not enough to dissuade them. Really shocked. I think Sumail had an Aghanims for that fight. I don't know how that helps him in that engagement. Unfortunately, I think he missed a hit on Void that would have potentially taken him to critical levels of HP. The missed Meld Strike uphill, as you stated, that keeps Kuro alive. But the team play for Nigma is just off the charts, and it's such an easy task for them. You notice how almost every huge chrono, every big spell, mind control, constantly hunting, it's all about Sumail's TA. If they take him down, Liquid's damage output just simply isn't there.
Yeah, Mickey is being ignored even still after the Aghanim Scepter. Now an Aghanim Scepter for the Invoker. So all the more likely that they're going to be able to burn through that refraction and burst him down during a chrono.
Yeah, it's just, there's too much healing. Like, the two supports have easy methods of keeping themselves alive. And Mickey went all in on survivability. He's not touched. Like, he was TP'd out as Nigma were distracted by killing his allies.
And that's in large part because this Miracle Invoker is doing so much to him. He's being tornadoed, cold snapped, heat, he's
Wyvern
to deal with
slowed,
ice wall,
enchanted,
Arctic burn, enchant. There's a lot
time
of
dilation.
Oh, once again, Mind Control is there with a Blink Dagger to be able to save GH. GH alive for now, but the Epicenter's right on top of him. He will burn out, even as he managed to get the Winter's Curse. Grouping these two heroes up together, they're going to try and burst down the Sand King. They will manage to do that so far. Mickey is a hard hero to be able to crack, though. Poking at him for now, running back to the low ground. Liquid trying to set up for a better battlefield, but now here comes the Cataclysm as he's stunned up. There goes the Bristleback Sumail.
Oh, ports away.
Ports away. Has an Aghanim Scepter. That's what that was. A second channel, that's all it takes for him to be able to jump to one of his traps, and thanks to the ward on the high ground, they will kill Insania as well.
Saw BG Gaming, PYW, and DOI make that mistake just about an hour ago. That pesky ward on the hill high ground is very tough for Dire to de-ward. It almost always feels like if you're seen here, then it's just a Blink Dagger away for a free pickup on a support kill. They saw Taiga now as well.
Yeah, they're
Miracle
hunting like this, and they found him. Taiga does not have enough leaps to be able to get away from this one. They do Roshan, but they're so confident in their current position that they can leave ILTW alone in the pit while the rest of the team goes hunting.
Yeah, I really don't want to fault Liquid either for the way this game is going, because, I mean, Nigma, they just have too many tools at their disposal. Disarm possible from both the Void and the Invoker. Multiple healing mechanics, plenty of stuns, tons of CC. Liquid, they'll kill anything they can just get their hands on for more than 3 seconds. Enigma's just not letting them do it. I think Sumail, with this now Aghanim into Shard build, they're going to probably play for a later portion of the game. Mickey is definitely strong. He's not dying until last, but it's getting spooky now.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, this is certainly a lineup that was supposed to be winning the first 30 minutes of the game and looked to close things out. And instead, she was on the opposite foot, and Nigma are the ones up 7,000 net worth with a Faceless Void Invoker combination.
And Dragon Knight now with the BKB. Sumail closing in on his, but remember, the Shard is quite nice on a TA in this kind of game, especially since only the DK is a BKB for now. It allows your traps to silence, which is super good against the support duo. I'm just not sure if it's enough.
And then his Aghanim Scepter is allowing him to teleport all over the map to these various traps, which is allowing them to split push a lot more, but it does say a lot, the fact that they don't feel like they can win team fights now.
I'm sure Nigma don't have that same fear. Their whole draft's built around winning those. Kuro, by the way, huge. He's 9.3k net worth. Yeah, Dragonlance, Holy Locket, Solar Crest, those are all super value items.
Yeah, he's still godlike. 10 to 15. So he is actually a pretty big kill to get for Liquid.
And they're just going to look to push mid. Still no outpost available. The level 3 DK form available, so a method of slowing through BKB. ILTW is going to have his own momentarily as he closes in on the Scotty. More and more tools to limit the Bristleback's HP regen.
They keep on poking at this bottom lane, but they're also setting up with some heroes behind it. I thought maybe they could be able to catch Miracle, but the pressure that Nigma is putting on the mid lane means that they're going to mass TP back. Oh, missed Burrow Strike from Koi Fuzz. They try and punish ILTW for being really far in, but that Shard is allowing him to play mind games right now with Team Liquid, and Mickey is actually becoming squishy enough they can focus him down perhaps. While he's on the low ground, ILTW jumping forward, forced away. Jumps back with the Shard. as he's going to look at it again. No, time to commit. It's the Chronosphere. The rest of the team, Koifa intercepts. Managed to get an Epic there off of the arrow as well. Right on top of Miracle. Is he going to be bursted down? The shots are coming in from the Snapfire as well. He's been healed up so much, though. With the Winner's Curse, it stopped Koi from doing a whole lot. Meanwhile, they managed to focus down Sumail. ILTW is still right in the middle of these tier 4s. Gets cookied, stunned up, but he time walks not that far away. He's still stuck here. Slowed down for a second. There goes the Aegis. Meanwhile, back over to Taiga. He actually ends up falling. Buybacks from Liquid. This is their opportunity to be able to turn the game around. They need to be able to win this fight. Silenced, ILTW, time walking away. Liquid gonna have to turn around and go for mind control here. They actually do have enough minus armor to kill him. Can they chase for more? They can. They managed to get the Burrow Strike onto Kuro. Remember, he has a godlike spree, so this kill is actually going to be worth something significant. 731 gold for Sumail.
And even with the voice line prepared, got it with the side blade, but that was a very expensive win for Team Liquid. 3 buybacks used, Sumail, Koifa, and Taiga. And Nigma, they'll leave with some losses, but altogether a pretty even fight. Liquid spent gold for experience, and they did take out a streak. So Sumail should get most of that buyback cost back, and they could get mid-tower off, and they definitely will. That whole fight is a great stun onto the Invoker, follow-up arrow. If that doesn't happen, Cataclysm is going off. Yeah. And I do believe at least Insania was dead for sure. Sumail would have taken some heavy pressure post-buyback.
Yeah, I think in some ways that's ILTW being a bit over-aggressive, right? A Chronosphere so deep just means that your team has to funnel in to follow it up, and Koifa recognized that and hit just the most beautiful Burrow Strike.
I think that just might be the way this team's playing nowadays, Cap. Remember that tiebreaker? They got one fight, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 throne. In this case, they're just playing to win. Like, they've got a critical lead, they've got Aegis, they've got this sick combination. Why not? And realistically, it may have worked. It was a nice play from Koifa. Liquid are no slouchers. It's not as if they've played poorly this game. It's just so damn hard for them to execute their draft properly due to the kiting and insane survivability
There's a
of
big
Team
upgrade.
Nigma.
The level 20 talent on Invoker, when you get the alacrity, damage, and speed, for somebody like a Faceless Void, that's pretty much the best hero to give it to. Huge, huge amount of damage.
And you saw the DK taking the Elder Dragon form attack range.
Okay.
Instead of the damage plus survivability. 20 strength is huge, but you're playing against, rather, with a Void. It does make sense. It'll be much easier for him to position properly. Now both he and Enchantress can rein in DPS from afar.
Liquid still trying to split push, still trying to prevent Nigma from going up to the high ground. But let's see if Nigma takes the bait here. Are they going to try and go high ground or back up and sweep to this bottom lane?
And remember, these two teams very different situations at the moment. Liquid is 1-3, Nigma 3-1. And as we saw at the end of last day, 4 teams top and 4 teams bottom, both tied at these teams' scores, or all tied rather, at one of these 2 teams' scores. So if you lose here as Team Liquid, you drop to 1-4, perhaps even 1-5. Suddenly, you're not thinking about upper bracket, you're thinking about staying in the tournament.
Yeah.
Well, TP in for Miracle.
Mickey trying to hold this ground. Lotus Orb helping to get rid of the cold snap between the bashes and the cold snap. He's pretty much perma-stunned, so important that he can deal with one of those.
Has the Paladin Sword. It's going to be quite nice. Helps negate a little bit of the minus healing.
Yeah, that's super helpful for sure.
Looking around, let's see what we got. Yeah, there's a gem on the DK. Cap, you chuckling?
I think it's Mind Control, who has been starting this this spam the most. So you see Mickey is spamming it too, but Mind Control is spamming it in all his PUDs the last 5 days. The moaning 496 player. Pretty ridiculous. Liquid setting up with a Moonlight Shadow. Mickey just charging in, but it means he's facing all of Nigma. He did not expect that amount of damage. Oh dear.
Wow. It's a trouble with this build. Some would say the hero. Hang on. Oh, Koifa. Pump fake.
They're still trying to take something here, even though they will. I mean, even if he has buyback, he can't be here on this side of the map. Maybe they can catch GH on his way out. They're going to blink down. Burrow strike him. The arrow does land. They're going to use the kisses. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that there's going to be an even fight for the high ground in a 4 versus 4, but it does cost them many of their cooldowns.
LTW continuing to push mid. Good TP out from the high ground.
Hey, some of the heroes just race back, so maybe they can jump on ILTW here. He is silenced. The Epicenter's going to come out. The damage, not enough. ILTW is able to shrug off those disables rather easily thanks to the status resistance of the Sange that is now built into a Heaven's Halberd, so they just don't have enough.
Now, Liquid, very feisty. Still, certainly in this game, I've heard all week how TA actually goes late game a lot better than people would expect. Bristleback, my concern, you know, fully kitted for survivability. No damage items, plus armor, magic resist, Vanguard. Yet dies immediately because there's still no save on Liquid and they have found quite.
All right, Chronosphere just to ensure a kill on a Sand King. Nothing major. After all, I assume Nigma's just going to be chilling out until the next Roshan does spawn. So if it spawns early, great. They could do it while Sand King's dead. If it spawns late, okay, we'll have Chronosphere still.
LTW has definitely stepped it up. I feel like this team's just gotten better and better since the wild card. It was the same last major too, wasn't it? Where teams that make it out of the wild card, it just feels like they get hot faster.
Yes.
Group stage squads, you know, yeah, you scrim, but it's really just not near the same intensity as actual major matches.
Yeah, I think other teams, like, you have already gotten into your momentum swing, right? You've already shrugged off all of the, like, jitters that are happening, any rust that is potentially happening of you know, playing on land for the first time in a while. It's like, by the time you come out of the wild card, you are a fully functioning machine, and you just stomp some of these other group stage teams as a result. A long-range arrow will do a little bit of damage. Of course, not that much. Time walks most of it off.
And keep an eye out for the Snapfire Shard. If he gets in point-blank range for the scatter shot, it will stun.
Yep. That is something that Taiga has used to great effect in a game-winning moment during the DPC season. See if Insania is able to pull off a similar maneuver here. It's tough, though. 9,000 net worth lead for Team Nigma. And can we check out the win probability? Because they've got the late game lineup as well. So I have to assume that they're going to be feeling pretty good about their chances to win this.
Backtrack selected by the Faceless Void, so furthering his survivability with the Satanic. So he has evasion built in, has the lifesteal, has time walk, green back.
Isn't this guy supposed to be squishy? He's got a survivability mechanism with time walk. Why does he have 3,700 HP, 3,900 when he goes into strength trits?
Well, he did itemize a little bit for it, but
true.
You do have a good point. I think it's part of why we see Void banned quite a bit against this team. And it's so easy now for Nigma to play around because you see MC, he's got a plate mail, the Void in front. These two heroes, like, they're just meat shields. Yeah. They can walk forwards. If you see enemy heroes, you can go cast spells on them, and Miracle has a lot safer time. Doesn't need a BKB. You saw what he's got. Refresher after the Aghanims. Yeah. Talk about a combination. If you see 3 heroes in the Chronosphere, oh, and the Relic, good lord.
Yeah, they're just going to die. Liquid has to get the initiation. And I don't think it's an initiation on the Faceless Void. I actually don't think they have enough burst damage to kill him. So I think in a way, their only play to be able to win these fights is to be able to get on top of GH and Miracle. And sadly, they're not going to be able to stop this Roshan. Maybe they can still fight on this high ground area, though. Bit of burst damage onto Kuro, but he easily tanks through it. Now they have a one-man stun strike that's going to be able to come through, finish him off. Chronosphere executed. He tried to flicker away from it, but it wasn't far enough. And that is going to be a dead Templar assassin. Koipa and Taiga do manage to assassinate GH on the back line. The Winter Wyvern dies, yes, but they're going to have to leave Koipa behind. Ian Disc as well as the Horn coming out. They do manage to get Kuro. Arrow nails the Faceless Void. Insania even starting the ultimate there, but realizing that Mind Control was quickly going to stop him anyway. Tries to go for a TP way. Surely there's a disable, and there is a Dragon Tail to stop him, and that is 3 heroes dead, 2 no buyback. That
was so cool. Miracle, he just Sunstriked into the Meteor combo to finish off Mickey, refreshed to get the Cataclysm off on just the TA in the Chronosphere. Just a really great example of using your toolbox to find kills, especially on one that doesn't have a buyback. They're going to force more out, but Mickey, he's dead for the second time. Yep. That's pretty close, and yeah, Nigma, they've gone this route before. They recognize we've got a huge lead. We have enemy heroes dead. Force the GG or kill the throne, and they get the GG first.
Liquid gonna call it quits here in game 1 as Nigma continued to just be a freight train running through these teams in the wild card. They may be the team that was second to get out of the wild card stage and had to go through a tough tiebreaker situation. In fact, they had just the most stressful run of all, but once they've gotten here, they're demolishing everybody.
I saw Knoxville's projections about your chance of directly qualifying to TI, and after yesterday, Nigma actually went down because of the success of some of the other teams. But unfortunately, stats don't take into account magic, okay? And realistically, this team, at times like this, has something special going for them. I don't know, again, you know, I wouldn't call them the only protagonists at this tournament, but definitely have the makings of a powerful run, and they're just playing so well. Like I'm so happy. We've watched them for how long? For how many months in the Western European region?
It was kind of it wasn't something amazing, but it was just kind of like It
was good.
Yeah, it was good. But good enough to get to the major. But otherwise, and now all of a sudden they're just in way different form, it feels like.
And they were just like, this close to not making it out. Again, shout out. Fans, you might be enjoying these wins, but make sure to send some love to AS Monaco Gambit, because if they didn't take a match off IG, we wouldn't even be watching Nigma play today. And I'm very happy that we are, because this is very good stuff. Liquid, don't take anything away from them. They are better than 1 in 4, but they'll need to just, I don't know, how do you...
They're going to have to prove it somehow.
Magic. You need magic yourself. Like, I don't know, go to Ollivander, figure something out, because right now you're fighting against some stronger stuff.
Let's see if they can find their magic wand, maybe a magic hat. Whatever it is, Liquid needs something to be able to turn around this series against Nigma.
They'll need something indeed. Team Nigma looking very, very strong here in this first game of this 2-game series. I'm here with Lizard and Fogged here to break the game down. And there is a lot to talk about for this game. You want to start with the Mirana. You thought Liquid had a little bit of an edge in the draft as long as they could set a good tempo early.
And I thought they kind of were. The lanes, all 3 lanes, they won. They have this advantage going into it. But Nigma Freight Train, as Cap was saying, comes out 8 minutes. Surrounded the tower, ILTW with the clutch chrono. Just continuous fights. The teamwork on this team was ridiculous. They're just ridiculous. They just started smashing fights. The bro plays that I'm seeing, they see the Sanking stun come out and arrows flying through. My control just runs in front of it.
Don't worry, guys.
Protect people.
Got this.
Like, that was
Linked
really
into the
awesome
arrows
teamwork.
many times. Yeah, the time dilation was just a menace to deal with.
Yeah.
The itemization from Liquid, I think, wasn't on point as well. You need some way of dealing with time dilation for that bristleback early on. I don't care who buys the Lotus Orb, if he buys it or some of his teammates, but you do need it, because basically all ILTW had to do is time dilate him, and then Bristle is just running around. He's dealing no damage. Yep. He has his spells on cooldown and he can't do anything. But we were watching the game in the green room and talking that it truly isn't down to the drafts. Like we said 55, I said for Nigma, you said for Liquid. It doesn't really matter, because Nigma is just playing better. Liquid isn't on point with their execution. When you look at the fights and how they take them, they move onto the high ground without vision, without detection. They get owned every single time. And it's mostly just outplay. It's not something that you can blame on the draft or whatever. It's just outplay.
Yeah, we saw some moves here and there coming out from Team Liquid where they knew, like, okay, the pressure, they have to be the one to apply it. They go in, and it feels like Team Nigma is just a step ahead. You could also see that as Team Liquid being 1 step behind in terms of where they should be on the map. And it was, it just felt clunky. Is that the right word to use? Because they had this potential in the game, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, I guess maybe the brawliness of the game got a bit difficult for them overall. These little things inside the fights, like Epicenter getting whiffed. I think that was the biggest one for me. Koifa with the mid Epicenter.
All around the tier 1.
And then the Snapfire kisses to follow, and then they're just on full retreat, and they get completely wiped. I think they lose 6 heroes for the 1 there, when they had an Aegis advantage.
Yes.
So it's just better team fighting coming out from Nigma with the heroes that they did set themselves up with, right? That's why they go for this Void plus Invoker. Even if they lose the lanes, they still pop off. And definitely have to give a little bit of extra shout out here to Kuroki. Beyond godlike
How does that even happen?
Which is pretty hysterical, but yeah, some
good impetuses overall.
Yeah.
Some kill steals here and there, but he was doing a lot of work. He wasn't dying.
Yeah.
And it's him and Winter Wyvern that were keeping the team alive through all these initiations.
Yeah.
Like Mortimer's case, they don't care. They just call Embrace the target. Even through the Mortimer's Kisses. If it's Faceless Void, he just time walks it off afterwards. If it's Dragonite, he's naturally tanky. He doesn't care as well. So.
And I'm glad you brought up like itemization, because I also feel like skill build stuff was also pretty interesting. I look at my control, 144 skill build on DK. Probably one of the more boring jobs that you have, but I feel like I saw more DK stuns landing on heroes than I saw multi-hero Sand Burrow strikes, which is ridiculous to say. It's a single target stun, but I feel like he was always stunning like 3, 4, 5 heroes in a team fight when Koifa was not able to get the same type of setup. It was
this is the fight you're talking about.
Yeah, this is that huge one.
I really feel like Liquid, they had the early game, the laning stage, and that went well for them. But I also think that they had the mid game. They should have had it actually. Like this draft, when you look at it, it just plays itself. It's so easy. There's just so much damage coming from Bristle, from Sand King, from Snapfire. You're not reliant on any big cooldowns. Meanwhile, when you look at Nigma, you have this one Chrono Boy and a Quaspex Invoker. There isn't really a lot of damage there. They were just playing this sustained game with a lot of heals coming from Enchantress, coming from Winter Wyvern, and if they survive that initial onslaught from Nigma, they just from Liquid, I'm sorry, they just wipe them afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah. The early stages, I mean, we say that Team Liquid did well on the lanes and all that. They were able to get the kills. I kind of felt like they were not able to get a lead off the back of it though, because in terms of gold, it was fairly even. They didn't really get any tower. I think they only killed 1 tower in the entire game, only the bottom tier 1. They kind of won the lanes in terms of the fact that they didn't necessarily lose them and they had the kills, but they didn't really get enough out of it, surely.
No, just the collapse. That's been the Nigma specialty at this tournament. I think everyone's starting to notice. It's like 6 to 10 minutes, 5 heroes in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Even the Void involved, jumping in with the Chrono to
bring the
win
numbers.
the team fight.
Doesn't that remind you of OG back a couple of years? Not right now, obviously they can't really collapse, but a couple of years back in their glory days, they would do the same thing. They would just constantly be on top of your tier 1 early on.
We were seeing them doing this even in the DPC, but they weren't playing as well. They weren't playing off each other as well. Their team fights weren't as clean. This was just such clean Dota. GH is just sitting in the back, getting like 5 cold embraces off. They always have MC leading the charges. Even if he's dying, he's part of like 90% of the kills. It's impressive teamwork. It
is incredibly impressive. I mean, when you're talking about the difference between Team Nigma in the DPC League and Team Nigma here on LAN, I feel like always their problem was they couldn't be consistent in the DPC. Like they either looked amazing, like the next TI champion, or they fell short and they just looked like they weren't going to make it to Major at all. And that's why they went through the wildcards, right? Because it was very hot and cold. I feel like the Nigma that we see here,
looking hot.
I mean, on LAN, we say that every time. I think a lot of people will remember not previous DPC season, but the season before that. Yes, that is over a year ago. First major that Team Nigma tried to qualify for. They didn't make it major. They had to go through the minor because they didn't do well enough. That major, afterwards, the one that never happened, the LA major, they didn't qualify for that one at all because on LAN, or rather not on LAN, online, they don't shine as much. This team, I don't know what happens when they come on LAN, when they come together.
Especially when WePlay lands as well, right?
Yeah, WePlay lands especially. That's true.
They love themselves some WePlay.
That's
lands.
true.
No, GH and MC for me, it's hard a lot of times because Miracle brings so much focus on them because it's these flashy type of plays. But GH and MC, somehow they get to land, and it's just amazing performances.
But what changes? Like you guys have both played. Like what's the big difference? Because generally people, you are taken out of your comfort zone, out of your home, your own PC, your own desk, your own chair. What's given that push?
Tournaments are their comfort zone, Sheep. That's what it is. Home is not comfort for them. It's all about being at those lands, playing in the lower brackets, playing when it's about to be a defeat. They're always just coming out clutch.
Maybe this will sound a little bit too cheesy, but their love for the game perhaps shines through the anxiety of the tournament itself. When you let's not put it anxiety, just this emotional situation that you are in because you're at the tournament. And when you love the game and you're able to just completely tunnel vision and focus on it, actually nothing else matters, right? You're here. After all, you are here to play. Yeah. Everything else is just noise.
And that's why we see ILTW just getting those pubs in between the officials as well. Is he the only player that does that? One of the few, surely.
Sheeves, there's actually, when I was playing and when we were in similar teams, Mind Control did the same exact thing. He masked Pubs. Like, this guy was playing the most amount of games a day from any of us that were kind of on a similar level going upwards.
And look where that got you, and look where that got him.
I remember when we first. I remember when they first added the those like mini leagues that people were making. It was like the Europe Little League. And a league that was. I mean, this was 5 years ago or something, maybe even longer.
The Face
than
It
that.
leagues.
The Face It, exactly.
That was the mind. That's where. That's
where
the
Mind
only
Control got
reason why
found.
I knew.
Yeah, he
Mind
won.
Control. Yeah.
He won,
He won all of them.
DPC.
Yeah, he won like 3 in a row or something, and
Yeah.
he's playing mid Shadow Fiend every game. The guy's clocking in 150 games. The next ice was 90.
We played.
They love
we screamed against this team a lot. Like, I think Burden United or something like that. I can't remember. No, I just did this because I cried a little bit as she flamed me. We had this sick combination of IO +1 on the mid lane, and we would feed almost on any midder because it's 2 versus 1 literally.
Yeah.
Mind Control was the only one that would just win every single time. Some Beastmaster mid and just win against us.
We are all aboard the Team Nigma train at the moment. They look like a team that is able to make upper bracket and make a deep run into the tournament with that as well. But traditionally, Game 2 definitely not their strongest suit.
Yes.
This is something that they do. Team Liquid, same story. They all are also hot and cold. So I want to talk about Game 2 and what's coming our way. How is Team Nigma going to make sure that they win 2 games in a row? And how is Team Liquid going to try to tie up the series?
I think Nigma should just stick to these guns, stick to these like Wyvern, 1 save hero, 1 aggressive initiator, or maybe even 2 if they do have the Void or one of those like Spectres that starts fights. Just stick to that strategy. I think Liquid, their strategy was definitely sound this game. I still stand by their draft being able to work, but they just need to play cleaner.
Just play better, Lizard. That's it.
Just play better, lol. I've heard that many times. Look at where it got me.
I hate using.
Do you have something smarter to say to them?
You know what I mean, though.
Something that can help.
You look at the way that Koifa is playing in the game, and he's just not getting his spell connections as nice as their offlaner, or we see like not as many kisses able to connect with the follow-up, and it's because there's not that clean initiation coming. So just clean up the play, and they can definitely take a game off of this.
Yeah.
I love these ambiguous pointers, like clean up the game, just do it better.
I mean,
They're better than
that's the
that, though,
coach's
right?
job as well.
They are.
They are better than the way that they were playing. That's why we've seen them perform it super
I feel
high.
like there's communication issues at the moment, at least. Like, if you even recall the high ground push, well, what the hell is that? Like, that Void, they definitely had a chance of killing him. They just don't connect their spells properly.
Yeah.
There's maybe Boxy not being there is causing some problems.
A small lack of synergy for sure. Which
This
Nigma
is the first LAN without Boxy.
It is. That is true.
So, yeah, maybe that has some issue. But it's also, I mean, I say the first LAN without Boxy. These guys have been on bootcamp forever.
They have.
Together.
What's also, I was curious, I know you were keeping track, maybe it's a bit deep, but how's the Snapfire win rate doing? It's still kind of low, but I think that's also because it's so popular.
In general, sorry, these pause are making it very difficult. I have written down only the best stats.
Okay.
Only the best?
And Snapfire was not the best. So I didn't read that, write down his stats.
So we see these bans coming out. The IO is going to slip through because of it. So Nigma's going to get one of
It's still the first hero when it comes to the pick rate for Team Liquid. It's not really. Second one, interestingly enough, I'm not sure if anything changed after the last game, was Magnus. So maybe they go with Snap again.
Do we agree with letting the IO through? We saw it banned. We know why it's banned. We know it's so scary coming out from Team Nigma.
Both of these teams get what they want, right? Like Team Liquid with Morphling and Snap.
Yeah.
It's 2 heroes that have been banned against them very often. Meanwhile, Nigma with the Invoker and IO. So
staple.
Yeah.
They're sticking with their guns, as we said they should.
Super early Invoker again.
That's true.
The Quaswex builder versus the Morphling. Pretty solid.
Vessel builder automatically too. I think that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's what I want
a lot of times from Miracle now, even in games when Vessel's not good, not when he's not versus, I should specify, when he's not versus something like a Morphling or some super tanky core, he's still getting the Vessel. Really interesting that I've been seeing. And versus Morphling, it's always going to make sense to get it. That's cool.
That is cool. We're going to see Team Liquid banning out a lot of the IO carries. We saw, though, Team Liquid, when they played the other day, the game that never happened and the game that they almost won, or at least were snowballing and then lost the second time round, they played it with a Spectre.
Actually, Spectre here is pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. It's very greedy, obviously, with Invoker, but I love myself some Spectre versus Morphling. PL and Spectre, probably my favorite cores versus him.
Okay.
That are in the meta still. There's obviously old school Slark and whatnot, but these two I love the most.
Not the best IO pairing, though, of course, but
They played it.
they did
so
play it, yeah.
They feel it's comfortable, but I agree completely.
Other than that, they've played. That's the only that series that they played against Secret's actually the only time that they got the IO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one with the gyro, one with the Spectre.
Spectre fits the strategy with Invoker for sure. Just quick way to start the fight, get vision.
Nice ban from Team Liquid, eliminating that Faceless Void. We have seen what that combination does in the first game. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I get
Chrono, the Eclipse, the Cataclysm, sorry, that's it.
Did Nigma just figure out just how to ban Koigfa? Because they do the exact same thing as they did last time, right? They banned the Brute, they banned the Slardar. Last time they banned the Legion Commander in this position because the only game that Team Liquid won so far, it was with Koigfa on that Legion Commander, and they are just forcing him to play maybe heroes that he's a little less comfortable with.
Maybe you ban it again, right? Be that bad.
Yeah, it is that Dispel, right? Cold Snap,
versus
Vessel,
Invoker, it's
etc.
pretty good.
Does get rid of pretty much
Saves,
everything.
Morphling.
Yep. So I could definitely see them go for that one again.
Nigma definitely plays, Team Liquid for me definitely plays better when they have some sort of save. And usually it's on Insania. I love seeing him on Wyverns, on Oracles, any sort of these kind of heroes, but they ban most of them. And Legion, it's in the pool. Pick it for offlane, why not?
Yeah. I think it could definitely work.
You might not get a lot of dual damage because of the heals, right, from IO, but...
What if you jeweled the IO?
Then you get the dual damage.
And he's out of position.
That's true, that is true.
IO probably shouldn't be there.
Interesting to note for me anyway, Team Liquid has not used a single second of their bonus time. Until, well, they used 1 second just now.
Yeah, just a casual Dark Willow.
The Morphling Willow combo.
And the Taiga Willow.
It is
I mean, for me, that's a very exciting one to see as well.
Coming from EU, which Willow do you like more, GH or Taiga?
I want to add Yapster to the pool there as well, because he rushed...
From the players that are still in the tournament.
Okay.
They're very different the way they play it.
Yeah.
GH is... I don't know. I would lean slightly towards Taiga, I guess, just with the way that he's played it in the past. I like GH on other heroes. I think he shines much more on so many other ones.
Yeah. Team Liquid, ever since before the Alliance days, used to play Dark Willow a lot. Like this is their bread and butter. They played it on offlane. I remember the days they played position 3.
The dead hero, as we're calling it. Nobody's really picking Centaur anymore.
No. We saw it first phase banned in one of the games yesterday. We were so confused.
Really? Oh, I didn't see that one.
It's a sick lane, right? Dark Willow Centaur, but not versus Ursa, perhaps. But however, I've heard you say this as well. You don't, not sure if it was you. It was a different panelist, but Ursa not really the strongest laner at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like his lane is weak, but he does have an IO behind him.
Yeah.
So I feel like that offsets a lot of the harassment that's what Willow Centaur lanes are about, is just constant harassment. But the thing people have learned, I know other people mentioned this too, is just don't hit the Centaur until you can just full commit and kill him.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that...
Especially with these early Vanguard rushes.
Yeah. So, in theory, nobody should die on the IO Ursa versus Willow Centaur lane for at least a good couple minutes.
I'm not sure. I feel like if you just step out of position, one single step and you're dead on either one of these sides. So it's definitely possible. Team Liquid, if Morphling is on safe lane, very similar situation can happen. A little bit harder to kill the Dragonite. We'll see what they go for position 4 on side of Team Nigma.
I mean, they're really just sticking with their guns. They love this Invoker DK combo. This offlane DK just seems to be a new thing for them, and nobody else is doing it, right?
I mean, it's working.
It is really working.
And it's working, yeah, it's working very well. So why change it up if you're not forced to yet?
In the SCA, DK was played often on offlane as well. And it's like you get these 3-core that are extremely tanky, like Bristle DK Scent. I've seen that trio many times. And the opposing team, you just can't get enough damage. You just can't kill all of them, and you're just losing one fight after another in that early game snowball. Obviously not the same for Nigma as they get the Invoker on mid lane.
But that hard stun, I've seen different players do different tactics too, but I think MC did last game as well. 0.5 Dragon Tail stun at 15 as well. This is like a 4-second plus stun. It's pretty crazy.
Point and click,
very low,
the easiest one to execute as well.
Yep, you just click it.
I
There's something
think
going crazy up
that
there.
maybe on the other stream there's a double rampage. What do you think?
Sounds like it. I hear even us screaming
You
again.
think there's a rampage?
That's the only thing that they
Whoa, look at that. They banned Chen.
banned Chen.
That's when Nigma's getting in your brain.
I mean, yeah, we saw Kuro play it once.
He did?
Yep.
And it looked good, but that was also the only time he played it, and it's the only team that played it, I believe, as well.
It is around that. It's the same concept, group up mentality.
Yeah.
And
Crazy
Chance is banned
sustain.
out. Yep.
Yep.
5 more seconds for Nigma, actually. Not a lot of time to...
How about... Never mind. I was definitely not going to say a tree and protect.
No, Sheaves. At this point, you say, how about,
How about
Treant?
that's exactly what I wanted to say.
Treant
course.
is cool versus Centaur. The Stampede, you can nullify. If you're in a good position, you can nullify completely. And it's the same kind of strategy. Super sustained lineup.
Exactly. It's same thing like in the first game. And when I look at this draft, I won't like to play it. Like when I look at Nigma's draft, I don't think I would make this work ever with any of the squads. Because it's just sustained. There's no straightforward, okay, this is our burst damage, this is how we're going to take down targets. They literally are making this work because they're so skilled. They're just outplaying you, and by time, the sustained abilities, the sustained heroes actually work out.
And they naturally have ways to push. And on Liquid, they don't really have the most natural ways to push towers.
No.
You mentioned how they only really got 1 tower killed on Liquid last time. Now you're versus Tree and Protector, so it makes it even harder.
So, which hero will solve all of the problems that Team Liquid has right now? You want a little bit of tower push, you want a hero that maybe creates some space for the Morphling. It's going to be either a Sumail hero or a Mika hero.
A Leshrac
Probably Leshrac
pushes,
still in the
takes
pool.
towers, good versus 3, but overall, not sure if it's that great.
It's in their wheelhouse, that's for sure.
No,
they have
they
played
played
it
it.
earlier this tournament against Vici Gaming yesterday, actually. It did not work out.
And not many drafts worked out for Liquid so far.
That's fair.
So there's that problem as well.
That's fair.
What else is there for our Sumail boy?
I want something weird for Mikke and put that maybe that Morph mid versus the
Morph
Invoker,
mid?
because that's a nice. It's a nice matchup for the Morph.
That
Might be the weird hero.
That's the weird. Are they trying to counter the sustain with sustain? You also get Heavenly's Grace, right? Like that's
It's
nice
a
addition.
Mickey Omni Knight.
Mickey Omni.
Yeah, it's the weird hero that I was hoping to see, but maybe a little too weird for me.
I've seen a couple of pubs, phases, Solar Crest, whatnot. I just don't have a read on Omni Knight at all. I don't feel that this hero is good.
You're picked it into Quasso X Invoker too, so Guardian Angel is never going to be something they should have to worry about. It's going to be a super buffed Morphling though, turning into
yeah,
Willow
exactly.
form.
You're
Great.
literally playing on Willow Morphling, right? That's it. That's your win condition. You're waiting for that late game Aghanims.
And I mean, with the way that Nigma's played, I don't know if you can play that kind of slow style. So
No.
Nigma's looked so good with this Invoker DK. I find it difficult to go against them.
Same.
Same.
Oh, this is very scary, I feel, for Team Liquid. I feel that there's not a lot of teams in this group stage at the moment that are clearly a bottom team, because everybody's taking games off of everybody. Team Liquid has only taken 1 game so far, and I believe that if they lose this one, they are the only team that has only got 1 win.
Yeah.
And that's a scary situation to be in. 2 teams will go home after the group stage.
It's all eggs on the Sumail basket. It's Guardian,
Yeah.
it's Heavenly
Carry
Grace to
us.
dispel the Spirit Vessel, to dispel Cold Snap, to pretty much just make this Morphling 1v5. I think this is not the way that... I don't think this is the way that
No.
Nigma has been playing, where they're just relying on like one type of hero. They're all just playing so well together, so I have to give them the edge this time.
Carry us, Sumail.
It is a Morph Willow, so there is a chance
Yeah.
for a Team Liquid here to tie the series. But let's see if they can actually execute that properly, or if Team Nigma is going to run away with this one as well. We're heading over to a commentary duo of Cap and Kyle.
Well, we did both agree that Nigma was going to win this series, but I'm not so sure about these drafts just in general. We've got an IO picked up for once, and then on the other side, a carry Omni Knight. Kyle, you have any experience with this?
No, I haven't. I forgot to listen to the Seraction Slacks panel, or maybe I would have gotten some insight.
True, yeah.
Definitely, I don't think something we saw all season, all last season.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've seen it in a pub in over a year or 2.
Yeah, this is certainly a new bit of flavor. Of course, part of the fact that this has been theory crafted, being able to play as a carry. It's gone on and off sometimes since the damage talent was given to Omni Knight. People tried some Radiance builds and stuff like that, but then the new thing is the fact that, so he's getting 50 base damage, and that also works into his shard. When you take a look at his shard, he gets a new ability called Hammer of Purity, which allows him to be able to do bonus damage, and it also does it based off his base damage. So that 50 damage base damage is directly supposed to work with this shard. But it's also a carry that is entirely predicated on a shard, which is kind of weird because, you know, it's a 1,400 gold item that doesn't give you, it doesn't give you any stats.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point. And it also takes till 20 minutes to come online. So I'm really curious to see how he'll build it. Now, you are playing with the Sumail morph, so technically you're not really the carry.
Sure.
Maybe maybe you're the guy that buys Solar Crest as an example. Perhaps that'll still be Insania on the Snapfire. Maybe you go, what do you do, like S and Y? I don't think we're going to see a Radiance.
No, I don't think so either. He's definitely going to be playing more of a supportive role to this Morphling. Biggest value is going to be giving away his W to the Morphling, lessening status resistance for him to just kind of waveform and do crazy things.
And we'll see. It's a really nice tree pick. I like it a lot here.
Okay.
The root against Morphin, really just, again, doubling down on Holy Locket heroes. I think that's something that we didn't really comment on in the previous game. There were Holy Lockets on both the Ench and the Wyvern. You can almost guarantee you Curl will pick it up again here on the tree. And I've been looking into it. I mean, it is pretty nuts. It's a single target, pretty large heal. And it also amps the healing. So now your tree armor will be even more effective. It's plus armor, which has been the name of the game in a lot of the matches that we've seen.
Yeah, much different from the old charges, where, you know, like if you're able to hit fast enough, you could get through the living armor really quickly. Now there isn't that weakness, and it gives you armor rather than damage block, which makes it better as the game goes on.
And respect, you can see a lot of giggling coming out from Team Nigma. They are feeling themselves. And respect to Mind Control. It is much more comfortable to play video games without shoes. I've never understood players that kept their shoes on. Now, notably, Sumail spends a lot of money on sneakers. He does keep his shoes on when he plays Dota. Perhaps that has something to do with Liquid's record so far in this tournament.
Yeah, okay, but are you going to apply that same logic to Sumail's performance in his entire career?
Well, that's the thing.
Okay.
Before he won TI, he wasn't buying $1,000 sneakers. Exactly.
Okay.
So it was no big deal.
The shoes have prevented. With that phrase, is it the shoes? In this case, it's is it the shoes that's preventing him from winning a second TI?
You're picking up what I'm putting down, Cap.
Well, we can also add some more great game analysis to this. I actually did message Blitz. I was like, carry Omni, what? And he just responded XD. So that's about in line with our analysis of these drafts so far.
That's the kind of high-tier analysis we expect from Blitz. As you can see, Aiden actually taking the opportunity during the tech pause to outline some of the strategy.
Can we remove the logo? I need to see what's on the whiteboard right now.
They might be playing Hangman, however. I think that's more likely from what I know about Team Liquid. Are they drawing a photograph? I don't know. Also, notice, Aiden, no shoes.
Ah, there you go. He's been doing great. I can't quite make out what's on the board.
Is he going to move it closer to us?
I would love for him to do so, but I feel like that's unlikely.
Oh, he gets his offlaner a water. That's a supportive captain right there. You can tell he plays 5.
That's a true assist.
It's a town move.
Yeah, well done. Thank you, production, for helping us out there. So yeah, while we take this pause, ultimately let's break down the drafts. Io Ursa, that looks pretty straightforward. Omni Knight, do you feel like this counters enough? Because there is some physical damage, but there is also some dispelling factor. I mean, they're playing up against an Invoker. Tornado has always been good against Omni Knight.
Yeah, that's what makes it a bit off to me, because Invoker's always been viewed as one of the best counters 2 Omni for that reason alone. Tornado just instantly dispelling the GA, and you can root through it as well, potentially. Yeah, Ursa kind of countered by it, but the other issue I have is that of all carries that don't mind building an earlier nullifier, Ursa is certainly one of them. Probably the Diffusal to open.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Now, you cannot dispel Heavenly Grace, of course, but either way, that's just status resist and healing. So we'll see. What's that photo? I can't.
Oh yeah, what is that? So Taiga has something that is standing up on his desk.
I don't know what it is. There's protein powder in front of 2 players. Liquid advertising. Yes, they do all go to the gym.
Yeah, yeah. Koifa and Samael and Blitz especially.
Blitz tried to get me to go to the gym.
Didn't take him up on the offer?
It just didn't work out, the scheduling.
Oh yeah, it's hard to work around.
Yeah,
it's AM scheduling.
Yeah,
you know?
it's tough to get a slot.
Because I do know
that
they go to the gym at 11 p.m. So I'm sure it was hard for you to find an opening in your schedule. Of course, yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, Kuroki. Now, Kuroki's a little different. He keeps his shoes on because, well, it's just better for you, right? I think it's better to wear shoes. You know, you've got the gel insoles. He's been playing for a long time, so comfort's definitely important.
Yeah, yeah. Also, one of the things is we wear shoes. Sometimes your feet get hot.
It's true.
But coolest man at the game right there.
Oh.
You know?
And the teams, I believe, from what I'm seeing in chat, the delays are related to TeamSpeak issues.
Okay.
We're working on those. The teams have resorted to spamming monkey voice line chat lines.
Sure, sure.
And we're going to just see what happens. Is there anything else we can evaluate in the team's preparation?
Tell me about your experience with the Han players of the side of Team Liquid.
Finally. I've been waiting for this opportunity.
Yes, I know. Just anything to talk about Han.
Mickey and Insania, one of the lands we won, they're the only team to take a game from us in the playoffs. They almost took 2. We came back. They actually almost, it was one of the few times I was on the winning end of one of those scenarios where you could have got 2-0'd, but instead you 2-1 the opponent, because they kind of, not threw, but we just outfought them in the Roche pit and won the first game. Yep. They crushed us in the second, and we won the third. And then we 3-0'd the finals, but that was, I think, 2000, I want to say 2011 or 2012. GSL Thailand? GSL Star League? I can't remember. Good times. I do remember. I remember every moment. I remember lifting the trophy, the big check. 900,000 bought, but still.
What does that equate to dollars?
32,000.
32,000? I mean, that's still, I mean, for back then, that's a pretty good paycheck.
Yeah.
But
still have the photo.
They must have been very young at that time.
Oh, yes.
Because you were in your early 20s, I have to imagine, at that point. You were like 20, but how old were they?
Insania, I think, was 19 or 20, maybe, and Mickey, I think, was like 16, 17. It's a while back.
Yeah, it's been a friendship that they developed and have kept together ever since.
Yeah, I think Boxy may have been on that team, too. I don't remember.
Cookie. Hopping over. That's a Treant Protector on the river. It's not going to try and go for him, though. So they're going to keep the Aya with the Ursa, which is kind of what I was expecting. And then the Treant Protector going to play in the off lane, try and help out this Dragon Knight. So they're pretty much approaching with so much brawn in that dual off lane that it's going to be hard for a Snapfire Omni Knight to be able to do anything to them. I'm guessing their strategy here. Samael, one-on-one against Miracle. He did very well, obviously, with the Templar Assassin. Now with a Morphling, are we expecting a similar CS lead?
I think it'll be a bit more even. Definitely, I think, more favored just because of the base damage advantage. You can see 57 on the Quatswax Invoker. Should be closer to 67 on the Morphling.
Yeah, that is the... I was expecting similar CS just because they both have the same problem, right? Which is that both Morphling and Templar Assassin are able to get some absurdly high number when it comes to their attack damage. So poor Quatswax Invoker is just like, I don't know how to deny you, ever.
Yeah, this bottom lane, though, this is going to be the one to watch, I think. Centaur Willow, a lot of kill threat. Yep. Wisp Ursa.
Oh, they're already going for it now. Two-man Brambles. ILTW has to work around the Brambles, but as a result, Taiga is able to get the extra hit in for first blood.
Yeah, Taiga on the Willow. I think one of my favorite player-hero combinations. They're going on to Insania up top.
Yeah, Insania is in some trouble because he already fed away the cookie to Mickey to try and help him out. So they do even out the kill score.
I like that they're willing to swap up the laning for Team Nigma. I've seen Kuro now in the offlane a couple of times. Him and MC have been bodying people.
Yeah. They've been doing some good work. It means GH gets to play one of his favorite heroes.
Yeah.
We haven't, I'm not sure if we've seen them play IO since ILTW joined the roster. I can't
Oh no, they
remember.
did in the wild card.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but it was getting banned out.
Right.
They're willing to pick it first too. But people, you know, you talk about fearing Kuroki's Chen. I'm sure GH Wisp still gives plenty of players nightmares.
I must have missed that game. What do you remember what the combo was?
I do not. It was.
Okay.
It feels like a lifetime ago. It was like 3 days, but there's a lot of Dota that's gone down. Really high level Dota. I think that I've been seeing a lot of feedback from the community. Just impressed at the level of Dota being played, like across all regions. It really just feels like the most parity we've ever had in professional Dota 2. There's no free wins in this group stage.
Nope, absolutely not. I mean, the fact that we ended day one where every single team was able to get a draw was a good show of that. And obviously we had a pretty tight wildcard series as well. ILTW take a lot more damage here. They are going to have the IO coming in, but ILTW is low enough he doesn't feel bold and doesn't try and challenge Koifa.
Oh, nice job with Tiger.
Fury swipes damage.
Grabs the cell.
Nice. That's going to be well played. Koifa managed to keep his for a while longer, so they should still have the advantage in this matchup. Koifa looks like, is he going no retaliate, stomp, and double edge? Ooh, almost hitting that stomp. That would have been really big.
This lane is all about keeping the health lead. Ursa, if he's free to trade and right-click, yeah, you're going to own a Centaur, but as you can see, when you go this no retaliate build, you have a lot of spell damage as a threat, especially with the Willow behind you, so you got to play very cautious.
Nice tornado for the deny. Gets the other one as well. Double range denies for Miracle. That's a big one. Kuro almost getting killed there with the cookie into the heel from Mickey. Was a nice bomb, but not enough because these heroes are, both of them, they're so tanky.
They are winning the lane, though. It's quite nice. Omni Knight, a pretty formidable laner. You have a lot of right-click damage and insane base armor. You can see there the heal after the cookie in, and then the Heavenly Grace to remove the DK stun. So, not really able to do much with that as my control. Now with the Soul Ring, yeah, it's my favorite combo. You just Soul Ring, heal yourself, you lose no health, but you deal damage. You probably grab a CS. Good pull from GH, though. This should deny a wave unless Taiga's able to meet it.
Yeah, only to be rivaled by your love of Soul Ring plus Legion Commander. Press the attack. It's the same concept that you seem to love.
Crazy, though, because most LCs skip Soul Ring anyway.
Oh, managed to get the cookie off just before the stun coming in. Mind control is getting rather low, but the living arm may allow him to live. Kuro is going to search for Insania. Getting into the trees just means that Insania will inevitably die here, and mind control gets a healing salve, so they're just going to keep bopping.
I'm surprised he has no point in regen or against double melee.
Turning around, double edge, hits the two of them. Koifa does have to man down. As you said, it's all about the HP lead. And Koifa, knowing that he was a little bit lower than ILTW initially, this time he backs away. They did manage to get a stacked easy camp and a pull on top of that, so that's not going to feel too good for Liquid.
Yeah, they're just continuing to play it slow. I think Liquid would be just fine extending this laning phase a bit. It's going to be Nigma who once again want to make plays. You saw this in the first game as well. Miracle, Quas Wex. He starts off really aggressive, very active, and then later on he transitions into Exort, plays for more of the late game, and he knows there's no Sunstrike. Otherwise, you know, maybe a little an exercise a bit more
I think
caution.
we're going to get both here. Taiga, he does manage to run ILTW into the brambles, but the damage.
One more hit would have done it. Nice job.
And on top of that, he doesn't have his Tranquil Boots just yet, so it's going to be a long run back to the lane. Unfortunately for Miracle, the Power Rune spawns bottom, so Smail's going to get another refill. It's going to be with an Arcane Rune.
Yeah, MC with the tree armor as well. You can see, look at 17 armor, tons of regen. And Insania in the previous game, are they going to go in here?
This is insane. 13.5 regen a second. Mickey. Purification turn around, does do a lot of damage, and they do have a cookie here. Oh, he misses it! Kuro managed to dodge that one, and does he stay alive? Because of it, the last shot from Insania doesn't actually do enough. Mickey playing for another round of Purification here. May end up having to use that on himself. Instead, pop a healing salve. Dark Willow gets rather low here.
So what's interesting is that last game, Insania went for the Scatter Blast early on. He had only the 1 point in the little shredder. This time he's getting a lot of them, but there's so much armor. Yeah. You don't actually do enough damage physically to these DK tree combos.
Do you think he should have gone the magic damage build?
He went it last game, and this is even worse in the sense that there's more armor you have to deal with. And now LTW and GH, they have so much regen. That health battle very much in favor of the Ursa because, again, tree armor. It's so good, and they don't break the trees.
Finally gets it away. Taiga is going to throw out the brambles. He's going to go for GH. If he can get this kill and then Shadow Realm, he'll be fine. Looks like he's going to have to commit the Shadow Realm hit to be able to get the kill, but that means ILTW gets a triple. 2 kills on Taiga, 1 on Koifa.
This is looking very good for Team Nigma. However, it's a repeat of the previous game where once again mid firmly in favor of Sumail. He's doing fantastic. Top lane, Mickey also free farming, but bottom is becoming unlaneable. That's a big concern. Remember, Koifa skipped return. He's, don't believe, very close to a Vanguard, so backlaning isn't really an option for him just yet.
Yep.
He's not in terrible shape, but you can't hit Ursa.
He went 2 levels of Stomp rather than maxing out Double Edge, right?
And the stun duration, you can make an argument that it's better because you can more easily set up for Brambles, stun locks.
Sure, okay.
You also don't do as much self-damage, which is certainly a concern, because as you can see, LTW is just hitting him. Now with a pretty nice net worth lead. Mickey, Echo Saber. I think that's probably the build.
Zany is dead. Trying to look for a direction to Cookie. Does manage to hit Miracle. He's going to turn around, pump out some damage, but yeah, he's nowhere to run to. Tornado cleans up the kill. Meanwhile, Koifa, they know the Dark Willow's not here, so they're going to keep running at him. Really? They're going to keep running him into the tier 2. The TP's going to come in for the Dark Willow. Brambles, they have anything to stop it? It's actually still on cooldown. Brambles getting thrown out now. Enraged, they do actually have the level 6 on GH. He keeps on running into Brambles, though. They're going to turn around. Taiga needs to be careful. They're going to chase him, continue to chase him underneath this tier 2. Insania's going to TP in now. Can Sumail come over? Can anybody get here? They are really just going to do that and get out?
Wow, they are playing around the tether so well. This is incredible to watch.
Insania's, Sumail. He did leave the mid lane for a second there, but he wasn't willing to cut that far down. Back over to top, Mickey. Taking a bit of damage here, but he should always be tanky enough to live through this.
Credit to Kuro. He's unseen, but the armor spam just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. All these moves, yeah, of course they're diving under tower. They have a ton of sustain and just the armor. It's not dispellable right now by anybody on Liquid. And Miracle has showed up. They're going to smoke or maybe just counter gank, expecting pressure. I mean, both these bottom lane heroes sitting at half HP. It's almost daring Team Liquid to make a move. But the danger, I suppose, of Morph Omni as your dual core, who does that? You know, it's really got to be Sumail, but 2 points waveform, maxed out attributes. Like, there's really no... This hero isn't supposed to roam. Maybe with a DD, though. That helps.
Yeah, possibility. We'll see what he does with that. He's going to start taking away some of the enemy's neutrals. You know, that's... Nigma does have a similar problem in that it's their support duo. That is like very stationary, no playmaker there. But because, as you said, they have this Miracle Invoker, like they just have this core that is wholly dedicated to moving around the map and making kills and plays happen.
And the DK, of course, of MC, we saw that in the last game, very effective. He's just going to be a tanky monster. He's going to max stun again, I'm sure, and just hit people. Ursa buying a defusal. You'll have 3 cores on Team Nigma who are always able to look to make plays. Nobody on Liquid can actually run at the enemy.
ILTW, I think he's just testing Koifa, seeing if he'll pop the Stampede or something, trying to scare him away. They're doing a lot of damage to that tower too. Nigma pressuring mid lane at the same time with the Siege Wagon. This keeps up with the living armor. Nigma's gonna have a massive tower lead. The Stomp's gonna be used here. Koifa is just desperate to stop this assault, but he's gonna be forced to use the Stampede to get away from ILTW, and the tower will still die.
Pressure in all the lanes. It's so good. Yeah, MC, he just pops ult top, starts hitting. did a little bit of damage to the tower. Mid lane, they kept the catapult alive for some time as well. They get it to half HP now. It's an easy relocate or just straight up rotation to be able to finish off Liquid's mid. 8-2, 1k gold, but Nigma right now just abusing the map control. And no Stampede means Koifa. Yeah, you can see he just runs away. He cannot be left alone against an Ursa lane. Like that, he might just get over it. He has no boots against FaZe plus Orb of Corruption.
Yeah, this is rather just unfair.
Yeah, and they have a ward.
They need to make something happen here. The Bramble's going to come out. They do have level 6 on both their supports, so finally the damage is here. Mind Control's going to be the first to fall. The relocate is coming in, though. They're going to cookie immediately from Insania. The Terrorize is going to come out and manage to nail the Ursa, but not GH. GH making sure to keep the tether in play here, as they're going to try and make a run back, but relocate out. They're going to leave ILTW, looks like, and try and fight this one, but Liquid is all here, especially Sumail on the Morphling, looking strong. Kuro's going to be able to get off the ultimate. Morphing in his strength, though. The Omni Knight's ultimate is going to come out to protect the Morphling against ILTW, that Ursa that only represents physical damage. So Sumail is able to trade just fine. Ultimately, a Treant Protector and a Mind Control Dragon Knight fell. That is all.
I just saw Sumail turn into the Invoker. I was like, man, I never see that. Can he invoke spells? No. He doesn't have Quaswax or Exort, but he does get the Invokers to it that are already prepared. Would be really cool if so. That would be
Oh, GH tethering in like this, and they laid out a trap to see if they can catch him. Mickey's got to be careful of ILTW, though. Bedlam is dealing a lot of damage to the Ursa, and they're going to Stampede. That's going to allow Mickey to be able to get away. Kite a little bit. ILTW recognizing, though, there's no stuns left.
That is so heads up. Once again, the tree armor.
I felt like he was healing while he was enraged and living armored.
That was so cool. And I love how much they're pushing their limits. You know, as this happens, MC, yep, there he is, TP'd bottom, finishing his Blink Dagger. He will be going for the max stun. They're just constantly applying pressure. Like this is the Team Nigma I was begging to see for what feels like a year and a half.
Yeah.
They're the ones taking it to Team Liquid. And it's not a spot that Insania and the boys are kind of used to. They're usually the aggressors. They're the ones that want to get aggressive. Oh, nice defusal reveal.
And a really good Brambles out as Kuro slowing down the Centaur. He's been burned out of mana. Taiga's going to show up, but it's already too late. The core is dead at this point. Very soon to be a support as Koifa is being bullied out of this game. They're going to try and make a move from Mind Control, who is yet to have his Blink Dagger. Oh, he's blocked in. Insania gets there,
but the team's here.
The relocate's going to come in. ILTW, they're going to go for Insania. Cookie into the tier 2 tower, but ILTW is showing he is not afraid of diving heroes. Still gunning for it, and it looks like Mickey's not able to get a heal because Dragon tailed up. Now they're actually going to get the EMP. This may burn him out. They're going to use the ultimate, and Kuro gives the walk away. That's going to be 2 dead on the side of Liquid. Sumail should be fine thanks to more of strength.
But look at this, already into the pit there. Really? So fast. Oh my god, this is insane.
And Taiga knows, but Taiga, I mean, he can terrorize. He's going to do it now. They pop the Enrage, though, so ILTW's not afraid of anything this Dark Willow does. In fact, he's actually going to try and challenge him. They do have Koifa coming in here, but oh no! Taiga died too quickly for that. They're going to go for GH instead. Insania does have the ultimate. He's going to go for the cookie first, but now that just lines him up for the 2-man Tornado EMP. Liquid, they're being outplayed. They're being outmaneuvered. And they are just flat out dying over and over again to Nigma. Godlike already for ILTW.
This is unbelievable, Cap. Like, Liquid is not playing poorly. They're just being beaten soundly. Nigma playing faster than I've seen them since TI7. Honestly, I'll just say it. Like, this is the best this team has been in a long, long time. That was they're diving tier 2, and before the relocate even is, they're already thinking, okay, they finished off Mickey with Grasp plus the EMP and the Vessel.
Yeah.
Ursa has already gone back with the Wisp. They're in the pit as Mickey dies. And the rest of the team then casts a couple of spells, maybe forces some rotation, then immediately back away. They're just not stopping.
Yep, they're right now. Poking. ILTW chasing after the supports. Cookie to the high ground. Good play by Insania, but they're being sandwiched right now. Mind Control. He's going to jump forward.
Tornado on
the line. He's going to be able to do that, but the Tornado is going to dispel so much of this. They're going to go try and finish off Insania. Nice grab there from the Dream Protector, but even better Terrorize. Going to allow them to reset. Sumail actually turning to the Invoker and getting a good Tornado himself. But it's ILTW that goes unchallenged with his Aegis. He's willing to go for this dive. He sees a low health Centaur. He's had this horse meat before, and he's going to have it again. Sumail going up next. Has to wait for him away. Taiga uses the Shadow Rumble. We've seen ILTW will continue to run at you even as you are untargetable.
He even bought a drums, Cap. A little bit of bonus stats, but more importantly, more divide. Just pop it and go. This squad is looking to play together at almost all times, and now they're just going to chase Sumail. Will TP safely away from the high ground. They've got great vision now, plays deeply, and I really don't expect this aggression to slow down. They're just realizing, wait, by the way, that was the tier 3. We can go top. There are tier 1s. We can try and collect some extra gold from objectives. Mickey, you are...
Mickey's not respecting this.
No.
He stops to farm some creeps, not realizing that Nigma was willing to keep following until they eventually catch up to him. Now, he may survive for a bit, but there's nobody from Liquid that wants to TP up here. So, unless he does the maddest juke of his life, he's very dead.
Does get some space, I suppose, but Liquid, you know, this draft is real greedy. And I'm looking at Sumail's Morphling and thinking to myself, how do I win this game? How do you win this game? What is a Manta going to help? Sure, you can dispel the root, but the Vessel, they have so many more spells to throw at you. And
yeah, space to do like what as well? Like they're farming creeps, but it's not like they could take towers.
Yeah,
Living Armor and Tram Protector is always going to be there. Tornado, catching Sumail. He did already morph to strength a little bit, and he's got a haste rune, so should be fine. And he is. Oh, hey, girl. Almost dying to Taiga. He's going to throw out the Terrorize and hope that he can find the last bit of damage, but he will not.
The tips go out, and man, they're playing so well. And Kuroki, he may have found his hero, like the style, right? What can buy Holy Locket and heal my allies? Strong laner. I don't blame them for the Chen ban, but Treant Protector definitely something he's going to play later in this tournament as...
Wait, did they ban Chen?
Yeah, last 2 bans they banned Chen.
Wow. Wasn't expecting to see much of that hero.
Hey, I don't know, man. It's feeling more and more like TI7 Nigma, and well, TI7 Liquid, now Nigma, I suppose. Playing against the old squad, the organization that actually has possession of the Aegis, and they are not leaving Liquid's side of the map.
No, they're not. They're going to keep barreling down towers. They're going to get such a huge map control lead that Liquid is going to struggle to even get outside of their base without risking some sort of gank, some sort of chain stun combination.
LTW, he's playing so well. Just cutting the wave top. This will slow down the push. Yeah, Kuroki can TP now, but you know, just more creeps to farm, more efficient. Secure the tier 2. It's only 19 minutes in. You cannot even buy an Aghanim shard, but we're going to soon see them move top to take the outpost. And the build will be there. You can see it queued up.
Sanj and the shard. Mickey, though, Nigma are not letting him find any footing in this game. Goes for a TP out, but Miracle's there. So now Mickey is going to inevitably die. Relocate to make sure it happens. 5,000 net worth lead. Nigma looking good.
LTW especially, his net worth is out of control. 11,000 and beyond godlike at the moment. He had the death in the laning phase, but 10 kills since. And yeah, this... You can see the split push is trying to go down, but Nigma can move so fast around the map, just tether speed, right? You can see flying around at 400 plus. Invoker constantly invis. DK has a blink dagger, and oh hey, Insania.
Freebie. That's what all these kills are. They're all freebies. There's no fighting back from Liquid right now. They have abandoned any pretense, any idea of fighting back ever. They're just going to continually try and split push and find whatever farm they can until Nigma goes for the high ground push. Now, to their credit, somehow it's only a 5,000 net worth lead, considering how hard they're being shellacked right now.
And they went for a pretty, you know, they went for something not quite cheesy, but it's a combo. You know, they're going for, they're holding cards in their hand, ready to throw down Exodia, because at some point you'll have an Aghanims on the Morphling, you'll take over Dark Willow, and you'll start raining damage in from afar. Nigma, they just went for Smash Mouth Dota 2. Like, this is their style. High sustain, high damage. As we stated, all 3 cores just consistently running at enemy heroes. Lines drawn, they're just cutting. They've got wave in top. So, hey, let's sweep across the map, make sure Liquid have nowhere to be but their base.
11, 1, and 5. ILTW, who, I will admit it, I wasn't sure about his addition to Nigma. I wasn't sure if he was really the kind of player that... Yeah, are you guys going to play the game? Liquid's certainly not playing Dota right now. They're playing some weird game of hide and seek.
Yeah, I love how all these teams have voice packs from NA Dota. I wonder why. The region that does all chatting best.
Yeah. Well, Emo would like to have a word with you about that.
True points. He said less with more, or more with less.
Yeah. NA, then it's the opposite. Say less with more.
And Crowing out, there is the Holy Locket.
He's holding on to the tome. Guess no one else needs it.
Somehow, still, yeah, more net worth than GH once again, but look at the score. You can see why. 5-1 and 8. Both an offensive and defensive threat. MC. Hunting. Drum charge. He's used 5 in 5 minutes. I love it.
Sunstrike, just to see if they can get some vision as they retreat back behind the tier 2 safely to their tier 3. Koifa building a underground passage here for him to escape home.
And Liquid have great vision up. 4 wards currently. Just scouting out Nigma's movements consistently. The trouble is they can't really capitalize on it. It's, as you said, it's hide and seek. So you see the Seeker and you can choose a different area of the map to hide, but you know, there's a relocate towards top.
Catching again, Mikke. Now status resistance helps him out a bit, and the rest of Liquid is going to be joining. They say, okay, we force something out. We've got this relocate back that's going to be happening soon. Don't need to push it so far.
They got the GA. That's what's key. They will not quite get the outpost in time. The XP boon still went towards Nigma. And Liquid have revealed their positioning. So suddenly the Seekers are in pursuit.
Yep, they are hunting, and Mikke is going to need a stampede to get out of here. Don't get hit by the tornado. Work their way around it, but he needs a cookie to be able to get to the high ground. Actually, the kick's coming in. Koifa made the initiation. Him and Smale jumping in. They took a whole heap of damage, but so does Nigma. In fact, they've lost Miracle. Liquid, they finally draw Nigma into a fight that they couldn't fully take, but they got something out of it.
That was a crazy good stun from Koifa. You saw Insania with the trust was actually pre-ulting there. The fear a little late, couldn't quite follow up, but you can see, look at, they're not giving up without a fight. They still have a lot of power if they can land combinations, but that was a 3-man Centaur stun. Like, you don't see those every day. And Nigma, they're gonna just continue. They catch anybody isolated with that defusal, it is dead.
Okay. So we do have the next Roshan coming up, but I do want to talk about Liquid's game plan going in later into the game. They almost have the Aghanim Scepter for the Morphling. This is where the combo starts coming online. Morphling, Dark Willow. Turns into Dark Willow, is able to Shadow Realm, does tons and tons of damage. Is that enough to be able to win these fights? I mean, it is going to be hard for GH to play Dota.
I think a lot depends on how good is Omni Carry.
Okay.
He has, well, he's online, whatever you can call. The Hammer of Purity is prepared. It was buffed in 7.29. If you want to check, it was buffed significantly. Like, look at this changes, right? Half mana cost cut by what?
Whoa, 30%? Not heavily. It used to be, in my opinion, better because it used to do more percentage damage.
Okay,
now it does more flat damage,
it was
but less percentage.
6-second CD versus 4.
Yeah,
like, it is now pretty much. You can't double hit with it, but it's up almost every auto attack.
So basically, he's able to heal himself, do more damage. It does pure damage on top of that. I think for me, like, he just needs to be able to stand on the front lines to allow Sumail to be able to do things. And I'm not even sure if he can do that until he has Heaven's Halberd. Right? He has to stop this damage from happening.
And the Scotty's gonna just make that really difficult. The
you
healing.
Like the Scotty more than the Nullifier?
I think I would have liked Scotty pre-Basher. Basher's great on Earth, so don't get me wrong. I think Nullifier is less necessary because of the Invoker, but I think it will be next up. Scotty's too good. He's actually switching it up, goes AC. Huh.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, more auras. That's what Nigma have been banking on in both these games so far. I think the healing reduction might be a bit better because you're a little stickier too. I'd be concerned about being kited later, especially when the double Willow effect comes out, and indeed it is here. So double Brambles, double Curse Crown. You don't have a BKB on the Ursa, so you got to be cautious.
Yep. They're going to jump in immediately onto Mind Control. Once again, putting himself on the front lines, but the Tornado stops so much of the Shadow Realm time. Here comes the magic damage, and Mind Control does die to it. Mick trying to heal himself and is going to stay alive. He gets back up to the high ground. The AC now complete for Nigma. They weren't totally ready for that engagement, and it shows.
So the issue is, AC won't help you against the Willow right clicks.
Yeah, no,
And
certainly.
The Sunstrike missed there, unfortunately, just a hair wide up. So Mick survives, and Liquid, they know they're in the pit. They're going to have to deal with it quickly, though. Morph is prepared again.
I don't see how Nigma takes that fight.
No.
Like with Morphling and Dark Willow both alive, it just means double Brambles are constantly being put in the pit. I don't think you want any part of that.
And Morph, though, on cooldown for some time. He does not...
Yeah, what level is our Morphling? I'm assuming...
Level 15. He has the duration talent, but the CD is still quite long.
Yeah, he still doesn't have level 3. Yeah, level 1 Morph right now.
Okay, because he just got level 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was on a 2-minute cooldown, so they can't actually fight right now.
Yeah, well done once again, Nigma. They back out. Wait for the reset. 21-7. Second Roche. Who got shard?
Love this shard. Ursa.
Oh, yeah.
So now, when he claps forward, he enrages for a small period of time.
It is so much better than it used to be. You had to hit 6 times, or was it 6 Fury Swipe charges, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
It is so much better now because if you Q, you get the self-dispel and that little bit of status resist, and it's near impossible as the enemy team to know whether or not he's actually enraged or not.
Yeah, because he's just constantly growling all the time in a fight.
And with the Nether Shawl, again, man, he found it for a second time, so even more sustain. Like, you can see he has 30 armor. So who cares about -3? You get 25% spell resistance.
Trying to find something here, but they're going to run back into Mind Control. Insania, he'll TP out. Is the cookie good enough to get Mickey out of here? He moves pretty fast. Blink is up in 5 seconds. He needs help. He needs the rest of Liquid here. He's going to be slowed down by the Diffusal. If he can get close enough, he's there. Now the Dragon Tail. Is he going to pop his ultimate to stay alive? He will. There goes the cookie. Hops over. He'll stay up, but again, the Guardian Angel is expended.
Yeah, both other cores of Team Liquid are not even there. They're just trying to accelerate their game. Spider Legs, what is Koifa going to go for? What helps his team here? That's the trouble.
That man's still on brown boots, by the way.
Yeah. Centaur, it's just, you're not really a team player, right? You want to be tanky yourself, but into this lineup, you just aren't. And it looks like Nigma, they feel like it's time to go. Alacrity onto the Ursa. He has Aegis. He has AC. Their siege is very formidable, and Liquid, you need something crazy right now.
They're going to stop, but immediately Mind Control jumping in with the Dragon Tail. They do have the Sunstrike. That's going to do a lot of damage to Koifa, but the Terrorize beautifully plays by Taiga. Now further in, Koifa continuing to go for Miracle. The waveform over the top does manage to finish him off. Simonel's pumping out the damage. He's going for the Dragon Knight. He does manage to bring him down. Curl's going to be up next. And ILTW trying to chase Mickey, trying to get that kill, will not find it. Koifa trying to catch up to GH. ILTW turns around, goes for the Centaur, but he gets stomped up, kited with the Brambles. GH is just trying to run out of here. The last hit from the Morphling. GH pop the cheese, turning back in with the tether, but there's Brambles everywhere. With the Curse Crown, the Brambles themselves being placed by the Morphling. They've got him. That's going to be a white +1. Without losing a single hero, the Tornado up in the air into the cookie. They will kite the Ursa enough. They did not lose a single hero in that.
How in the hell? Talk about miraculous magic.
Shit.
That was nuts. I'd love a replay if we can get it. It looks like Liquid just straight up threw their spells. Mickey absorbed a ton of damage, then ran off to the left. ILTW distracted, wasn't able to finish the kill, but they just popped everything. They got the initiation they wanted. Sumel went straight forward with the Stampede. They picked off Miracle. They killed off Mind Control. Too much magic damage. Way too much magic damage from the Willow and Snapfire raining in just damage. It just straight up.
They kept the net worth lead stuck at 5K. Then Roshan happens. Goes up to 9K. One team fight. And all of a sudden, boom, down to 1,000 only of a lead for Nigma. And Team Liquid's back in the game 100%.
Look at the graph. Nigma had like 15 kills to 1 over the last 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's all turned around. They lose 6.
Green squares everywhere on that graph. Insane.
Maybe a little too aggressive. I mean, you can see Miracle.
I love that. The one orange dot. Insania killed the Sentry Ward.
That was a win until that last fight. Miracle has Ags real soon. They didn't wait for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't. That
They had
Cataclysm may have actually been enough to be able to kill the Centaur at the start of the fight, do a little bit more damage to other people, but yeah, they got to be more careful of this Morphling.
No.
It damages off the charts. We said this combo was online, and oh, Liquid, they're going to smoke into Nigma here. Nigma partially on the high ground, not anymore. They actually jump forward, but they managed to get the Dragon Tail stun onto Koifa before he hits a stop. Now ILTW is on the chase forward. Taiga hiding in the trees here is going to be spotted. He's caught out. They're going to go ahead and see if they can kill this Dark Will, but the turnaround with a buyback. They're chasing after him. Mickey on the front line, slowing down ILTW as much as possible. Got to be careful of that build-up of damage, though. Mickey getting bashed up. He couldn't get off the Guardian Angel. He ends up falling. Koifa's too low to be able to get the stop. Now the jump in from Kuro, looking to be able to hold these heroes in place, but Sumail managed to get away as a Dark Willow turns back into his form. Doesn't have the Shadow Realm just yet. They're going to reset a little bit here. Mickey with his buyback immediately after Guardian Angel for fear of getting bashed up again, but there goes the Tornado. Koifa managed to intercept with a two-man stomp. Mickey slowed down to a crawl as he tries to get out of these tree brambles. There goes the Sumail damage, but here comes the Cataclysm. Oh, the cookie! He managed to get Sumail partially out of the way of that. They turn around and kill the Dragon Knight. Now Sumail bashed up with the heal coming through. Sumail trying to get out, but he doesn't have anything. The adaptive strike, the strength board pushes him back by LTW. Now an onslaught of damage coming out from Sumail, but to relocate away. He turns towards the airfield instead. ILTW is coming back in. He actually managed to kill the Centaur. Can he kill Sumail? Sumail out of mana, turns into the Dark Will, but there's no help there. He dies. Mickey's up next. A dieback for him. He comes back as the Morphling, but he does not have Taiga anymore. He can't turn into the Dark Willow.
Oh my god, it's not the damage done that's counting in these fights, Cap. It's the healing done. Double Holy Locket once again on both Nigma supports. They're just spamming it on the
ILTW, and they are right in front of the fountain. Nobody from Liquid has a buyback here. It's just Sumail who has to hold out for 45 seconds.
They use everything. So many buybacks. They can't actually kill heroes. And if you don't, how many times? I'll tell you, it's like GH is manufacturing cheese. But it's Holy Lock. They can't kill him. He's just... They killed 9 heroes.
So elusive.
They lost nothing.
Absolutely crazy. Sumail turning into the Evoker to try and slow them down with tornadoes. 15 seconds until the Dark Will is back up, and then they've got the combo again. Problem's going to be, I don't think the throne is going to be able to last that long. They found the opening onto Sumail. Tornado, EMP, he's burned out of mana. He's burned out of mana, and he tries to pop the wand to be able to get out, but he can't. He's dead now. GG is called from Liquid. Nigma will take this series 2-0.
Unbelievable. Good replays to study. Any teams in this group stage, you might very well be looking at the best squad, at least so far, at this major.
Yeah.
Now 5-1, but seriously, like just unbelievable performance from the whole squad. I think they found something, Cap. Like there's a reason that they've made 4 Holy Lockets in 2 games.
Yep. No.
With the Wisp, with the amount of sustain, the Ursa going for the AC instead of the Scotty, just doubling down on these auras. Their team fight way too strong, and you can feel the one fight they lost, they all died. The fights they're winning, nobody dies.
Yep. No, absolutely incredible that Nigma, they have found both a draft and items that seem to be really working for them. People warn, like, Holy Locket, trash item for so long. Keeps getting buffed, reworked a little bit, buffed. Eventually, it's going to be good, and it seems Nigma is saying it's good right now.
Somebody's got to do the math. Is dealt with by healing.
Yeah. They did have this carry Morphling on the side of Liquid. They had the combo with the Dark Willow. Mickey has played this sort of like 2 or 3 from the safe lane a couple times. Your verdict on the Omni Knight?
I don't know if it's anything to do with the Omni, but it didn't buy Holy Locket, so I feel like if anyone was going to do it, it's the Holy Knight, and didn't go that route. So
okay, I
think more it's Liquid committing to this idea of Sumail on their hard carry from the mid lane, and teams kind of figuring it out. Like they're really just running one source of damage in a lot of these games, whereas the meta seems to have shifted more towards sustain and also a focus on team fight and just general macro control where all 3 cores can scale.
Yeah, it was a problem for Liquid at the last major. It felt like by the time they got to the group stage, they were a bit figured out. And it's a problem again here at the second major. Meanwhile, Nigma on a freight train run, straight from the wild card, going through the group stage, looking strong.
Looking strong indeed. With this series, they're now 5-1 in wins and losses. They're setting themselves up for going to the upper bracket at this rate. They look dominant, Fogged.
They are setting the pace.
They are.
This is insane. What triple kill at I don't even know what time. ILTW and GH popping off. That was sick. Like this is why you ban the IO.
Yeah.
The lane was literally just. I thought it's a little bit easier for Centaur and Dark Willow, and then they just got ran over. While we were talking about him, like how he's actually adapting to the offlane, how it's good, but Ursa IO just crushed them completely.
They got first blood or something too, and they killed the Ursa at the start, and it doesn't matter. They just got completely steamrolled.
And you can't play when your lane loses that hard. Like IO and Ursa, they benefit so much from these early kills and this early advantage. Did he recharge the drums once or twice?
I saw he had 2 extra charges, but
yeah.
I think he only bought the 1 extra. But that just shows the play style that they're playing.
They just want to run.
Everyone together. It's a team play. It's just it's collapse the map as quick as possible and don't give any breathing room.
That almost did hurt them though, because Morphing was getting that Aghanims timing, and that one fight they did manage to wipe them. But I feel like Liquid, they're trying too much. When it comes to these team fights, they're trying to take way too much from the opposing team. Instead of just taking these small little victories and bailing, they always want more. They're going. Like if you look when they were making the small comeback with the Aghanims, they get one good team fight, and then they fight outside of their base. Koikwa jumps in, he dies, he buybacks, and then they run on high ground where Nigma is waiting for them.
Yep.
Like, why? Why do you force so much? Like, you could just wait on your side and let the fight come to you instead.
It does feel like overcommittal, but maybe there is just a little bit of this mesh that's not working with Liquid. Where Nigma, they absolutely have perfect coordination. This mini little relocate even from GH, just repositioning in the fight, saves ILTW. They wipe the entire fight because of it. The little plays, the little teamwork that's coming out, the bro plays from Team Nigma are top notch.
They are absolutely a top notch. And if we analyze this game, we have to talk about the Omni9 carry. And we heard a commentary team say, okay, didn't buy Holy Locket. That's the way that they lost, maybe. Actually, we're going to talk about this in a second because I believe right now we have someone live at the hotel with hopefully someone from Team Nigma. Slacks,